Welcome, everyone, to the Commentary Podcast. I am your host, Pat Brennan. Today on the podcast, we are going to be concluding our Mission Impossible rewatch with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. It was released in 2023. It is written by Christopher McQuarrie and Eric Gendronson and is directed by Christopher McQuarrie. The film stars Tom Cruise, Haley Atwell, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Vanessa Kirby, Asa Morales, Palm Clementeff, and Henry Cierney. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. Joining me for this rewatch of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning are my two co-hosts, Vikash and Martin. I will drop all of their info in the episode description, so please go give them a follow and check them out. Now, I'm going to be watching the 4K copy I have of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, but it is currently available to stream on Prime Video. You can also rent it on Amazon, Apple, and Fandango at home for $4. I say we get things kicked off. We are going to be pressing play on Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and I hope you do as well. In 3, 2, and 1.
Lauren Balfe. Off the jump. With this, I want for everyone, after y'all finish this movie, go to Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, and go look up Lauren Balfe, Curtain Call. Because when this movie ends, he hits us with the hardest Mission Impossible theme.
Are you guys Spotify or Apple Music people?
Spotify, because I have a...
Do you do both? Damn.
I do both.
Fucking Mr. Moneybags over here.
No, it really is just more of like a
it's like $10
thing.
a month. It's like $10
Mr. Moneybags over here. Even then, it's still a lot. Lauren Balfe didn't do the score for Final Reckoning. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, that's one thing that I saw as soon as I was like sitting in the theater, and I was like, "Damn!" Like he didn't do it.
Who did it?
I can't remember who did it, but I remember his name did not show up.
As long as it's not Brian Tyler, I'm good.
So Dead Reckoning. Oh, Final.
This opening has to be a love letter,
called, right? I typed in, you'll love this. I typed in Dead Reckoning Part 2 score.
Martin's gotten to your mind. He's in you. He inception you. Okay, so this whole sequence, all the outside stuff is CG, but I just want to say this is Crimson Tide. If you're listening to this, you haven't seen Crimson Tide, or you haven't seen it in like a year or 2 years, go turn on Crimson Tide. 1995. Tony Scott, Denzel, Gene Hackman, and a bunch of other people you know. And it's truly one of the best.
Seeing the scene of the sequence is a little weird now that I've seen what follows.
The next one.
Yeah.
The music in the new one is by
the
Max
production designer
Arouge and Alfie Godfrey.
Randoms.
They do give Lauren Balfe a credit for
the theme, maybe.
I think it's because it was one of those things where it was like he did the original theme for this one, and so it was like they kind of picked it up on it. So like, you know how Michael Giacchino did the score for Rogue One?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like based off of like the original score that John Williams did for some of the other Star Wars films. So it's like one of those things where it's like he gets his name is in there somewhere. I remember that, but it wasn't the music.
So everybody that's in this scene, in this submarine scene, the co-writer, Chris Gendronson, if I'm remembering his name correctly, he cast everyone just off their photos, because the entire point of this whole scene is that they want to make sure that you are rooting for these people to live. And everybody looks so Russian, and they look so, charismatic to the roles that they have.
Dutch angles, though.
So the reason for the Dutch angles, even though we would say,
I was talking about it the last
Kenneth
episode too.
Branagh
I was like saying, I literally said it. I was like, you guys wait till we get to Dead Reckoning, because there's so many Dutch angles, and the new one has a lot too.
It's just to stack the frame. That's all it is. He wanted dynamic framing where you can stack a frame with multiple people within one frame. So he's just like, okay, just out of necessity, we're doing Dutches.
I mean, I don't completely agree with why he chose to do it, because you can still kind of do it.
You're right. I know. But I'm just telling you their reasoning. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't do the same thing either. I would throw in Dutch angles.
They're wrong. They're wrong. They made the movie. They got it made. It went to theaters. That's the reason they made no money. It's because they're wrong.
Tell them to meet me by the flagpole at 3. I got some thoughts.
I got some shit to say.
Speaking of Crimson Tide, where the fuck is the 4K? What are we doing here?
I know. And
it's
in
30
Crimson
years.
Tide, this movie it looks like trash compared to Crimson Tide. No offense, even though this scene looks good, they do add in the. I think he calls it the Tony Scott level of sweat. I think it's like sweat level 1, sweat level 2, as the scene goes on.
The sweat in Crimson Tide is like
iconic
cinema sweat.
I do want to like it gets worse as we go to like the airport sequence after this, but I do think that this movie really suffers from the visual style looks like a TV show.
I think it's the lighting.
It's the lighting and the editing. The editing in this one is really goofy if you really pay attention.
I mean, I've heard the editing in the new one is kind of goofy too.
Dude, the new one has some really weird transitions where I was like, what's going on here? Like, like, are we doing Star Wars prequels? Like, what is this? And it was
give me some iMovie. Give me some iMovie transitions.
No, this isn't gonna spoil the movie, but there are literally transitions where I was thinking like this was done with like iMovie or Final Cut or something.
Yeah.
Like there was one really good transition that I was like, yo, like that hits hard, but everything else was very much like, why does it look like this?
I was telling Vikash before you hopped on that I didn't rewatch this. This is the first time rewatching it, so should be interesting.
Before Final Reckoning. And
this should be interesting.
I did sour on it a little bit, mainly just because I think the first time I watched this, I was just on such an excited level, and I was in such a high of like wanting to just experience this world that I loved it so much.
I like this movie,
but having sat with it, it's definitely one of those. I'm like, it's not as strong as Fallout. It's definitely like a step down. I think
it was already at a in the mid tier. It's it's better than other ones. It's not as great as 5 or 6
the middle of the pack,
by far. Yeah. It's number 3 or 4.
I mean, I have a hard time like really, really hating a Mission Impossible film.
No, even if I don't hate any of them, even 2 that is like just hard to get through. It's like
I have it a 3 out of 5.
Tried.
Fun.
There's some dissolves in the scene parts. Where I think he does like 5 frame, 2 frame dissolves, very soft dissolves from what Eddie was talking about. So the Entity, I'll talk about it real quick. They had a friends and family screening for this. I think I told you all about this before, but Edgar Wright was there. They're in London making this movie, and Edgar was like, "I don't feel the Entity like sonically." And from their perspective, they're like, "Oh yeah, like we have a sound there already," but it's like, no, the sound just wasn't working. It wasn't like being recognized. This little like sound we're hearing, and the talk to the sound department, and they had this sound from something just ready to go, and they tweaked it a little bit, and then it's just a great sonic message of like, oh yeah, this is the Entity.
This is one of the most expensive films ever made.
I will say, I'll talk about that in a second, but I
want
to get it out of the way right away.
A nice 30 mil behind the Electric State. It's okay though.
So I love Person of Interest. We just did Terminator, and we're gonna do Terminator 2 soon. I love stories about artificial intelligence.
We had to kind of take a step back on Terminator just because I had the right idea of saying we should do all the Mission Impossible movies.
But like, it's rare for me, like after seeing Person of Interest, to see a good take on artificial intelligence. This one, it's solid. It's not great. I think Person of Interest does something fantastic. I told you about this guy. His name is James, or it's like James Phelps. Is Alex James Phelps, and John Voight's character in the first movie's name is James Phelps. So I'm
not gonna say anything,
funny.
But that there's something that comes back from the first one.
This is one of the last things they shot. Tom's got a wig on here.
Is this he probably was about to go shoot Top Gun, no?
No. They were shooting 8 already, so he had the long
I'm thinking of Fallout, sorry.
Speaking of AI, that being a plot point, what do you guys think is the best film that illustrates AI?
That's what I'm saying. It's
you can't say
Terminator 2 and Person of Interest. That's it.
Person of Interest doesn't count. It's a show. I said movie.
Yeah, he said movie.
Listen,
Terminator 2
with your ears. Dude, nice.
That's what I said. It's Terminator 2 and
Cook his ass.
I haven't found anything else.
You could make the argument that it is 2001: A Space Odyssey. But...
I think 2001. Yeah, it's up there. I'd say it's like top there. 3 or 4. Okay,
what about
I don't think
Steven
it's the
Spielberg's
best one,
artificial intelligence?
Dude, actually, Steven Spielberg's AI movie,
written by Stanley Kubrick,
pisses me off. That movie pisses me off. I said it.
Oh, what?
It pisses me off. The second half falls off so hard.
Dude, I'm gonna text him right now.
Text him.
What if he
don't give a shit.
What if he just appeared on the screen?
Put him on right now.
And he just appears. Hey guys.
Empire of the Sun is great, dude. Yeah, no.
Oh, I saw Empire of the Sun yesterday. I was gonna text you, but it was $70. I was like, I don't think he wants that.
So this photo is I think it's the Days of Thunder
here. It was $70. I was like, dude, come on. I put it back. $70.
I might have bought it, honestly.
There's probably a 4K coming. Just wait. $70 is ridiculous. I literally picked it up. I was like, no one's buying this, and I put it back down.
I would have bought it. That's the thing, is I would have bought it.
They still have a copy of Morbius there for $45. $45.
So the branded copy, no one wants to fucking buy it. They gotta make their money back somehow.
Buying this.
So the casting for this woman, they went through a bit of it, and they found the right woman, but they cut a lot of her stuff out for this movie, and I don't know how much they have of her in the next movie. We're in such a gray space, but
it's not a spoiler, so I'm gonna answer it.
No, good. It's not much.
It's about what you see here is pretty much what you see in the next movie. With anything,
so it's not more than 2 minutes.
Flashback related to S.I. Morales' character and this whole flashback thing that you just saw in this movie, it's about the same in the next movie.
Okay, understood.
I hear what you're talking about. The frame dissolves, how they're very quick.
Does this have IMAX ratio change or no?
No,
this one does not.
Which pissed me off because I saw the movie in IMAX. I took 10 or 15 people to go see it in IMAX,
and you didn't.
And you still got the fun. You still got the audio. What are you sitting here dogging on IMAX for? I saw the creator in IMAX, and it was still a great time.
It was. But no,
you gotta put your IMAX hat on.
I'm not done with my statement yet. The funny part was when we saw the movie.
To get a hat.
Did y'all see the featurette that they had for Rome, like the Rome chase? Yeah. It was like 3-4 minutes. They put it in front of the movie still, and we were all steaming. We were all angry, like, "Yo, we're about to watch the movie. Why is this before the movie? Stop wasting time. Let's watch the movie."
That was like when I
literally, my buddy texted me because we're seeing Final Reckoning on Thursday, and he's like, "Hey, I hope they don't do that again because that sucked."
There's a movie I saw recently where they played the trailer in the upcoming trailers. We were about to watch the movie.
It happens. So
because they're all preset.
The lead up to this scene, there's a lot more that they shot in the desert, but it just didn't work for the pacing, so they had to cut it out. That seems to be a lot of what this movie is. They just had to cut a lot of stuff down in this movie.
Trying to do too much. I'm wondering if the COVID kind of hurt that. Is that
so? When it came to COVID, I told you all the story about how they were gonna start shooting in March or February of 2020.
2020, yeah.
And then Christopher McQuarrie went there with his wife, and she had her dog on her, and they're doing thermal scans, and they took his wife in, and he saw what the ordeal was, even with a false positive of the thermal temperature, and he told Tom, don't even come from London, stay there, we're not starting to shoot this movie. And he went to Tom Cruise's room at their hotel that they were supposed to be staying at, and he and Eddie Hamilton were editing Top Gun Maverick while they're evacuating Venice, which is crazy, but he was like, that's literally the only way to deal with this. I could not deal with what was going on.
Yeah.
I think these are pickups, or not pickups, it's in the set.
Nice. It's a great shot.
So
old school funny thing, binoculars with huge binoculars, you can see.
You can see the shot. It makes you think of Casino.
So
Rebecca
Ferguson couldn't blink. She couldn't wink to go into the camera.
That's why they did the thing with
they did the patch, which is hilarious.
Dude, okay, you guys want to know some crazy lore that I learned about eye patches and shit?
Wait, it's about the pirates?
Shit, right? Yes.
Can I say it?
No.
What do you want to say?
Because I think you know what it is.
I know what it
it's
is.
It's so stupid. Okay.
It's not
so
awesome.
For our audience members listening, I'm going to explain this. I'm going to give you
it's
guys.
It's really weird. I brought this up yesterday. It's really weird.
Did you? Because I found this out like 2 or 3 years ago, and I've just thought about it ever since. Whenever I see anybody with an eye patch, when you see someone with an eye patch in a movie, or even in real life, maybe you think to yourself, or even in pirate movies, you think to yourself, that person is missing an eye. That person does not have an eye there, or maybe their eye is injured, maybe they're sick, whatever. The reason that people wear eye patches in pirate
movies.
When
he just shot the gun, it was the theme of Mission Impossible. He was like, boom, boom.
Let him finish his pirate story.
Go ahead.
I don't even want to anymore, actually.
I'll finish it. So when they went to the smuggler's...
Okay. So the reason that they wear an eye patch is because since they're out in the sun all day and the sun is hitting them and they're looking at nothing but bright sunlight, they have the eye patch that they can switch it from one eye to the next, and their eyes adjusted to darkness that when they go below deck, they can find what they need to quickly.
Yep, exactly. I thought that was a cool fact, man.
I thought it's cool. No, it crumbles everything I know.
I love this sequence. What do you think about this sequence, Martin? I think
it's fantastic.
I think visually it's compelling too.
Why did you ask me what I thought about it?
They did the actual sand, the fan with the sand.
He's not able to listen to it.
They also packed it up. I'm not listening.
Probably because I'm talking about pirates over here.
If we want to talk about pirates, we can run the Gore Verbinski trilogy.
The trilogy. We're not doing anything past 3 though.
That's what I'm saying.
Let us know, listeners. Do you guys want a Pirates of the Caribbean episode trilogy?
We're just number 5 though, not any other one.
I would never do 5. I tried rewatching 4 and 5 after I watched the first 3. Like after
I think I owned the 4th one.
It is like disgusting. It is disgusting to watch them back to back.
On Stranger Tides is actually okay, like on a rewatch, but they're pretty
not as bad as 5.
Yeah, 5 is horrendous. This look that Tom Cruise has with the that suit reminds me of.
I will say, no shot at him, but he's starting to look a little older in this one.
No, in this one he looks older. Oh, the title cards I was talking about. I hate them.
This is Charles Parnell from Top Gun Maverick. Indira Viswanathan, great actress. The first guy talking was
Game of Thrones.
Was Stephen Moffat. You all recognize him, right? From Sherlock. He's a writer himself in his own right.
Rob Delaney here.
This movie has an insane cast.
He was just.
This is essentially like, hey, who can we get? Who's available in London to come out real quick?
What's interesting is that the new movie
Showtime for Sex recently.
The new movie Final Reckoning also has a lot of like roles like
talkie
this,
scenes,
like talkie scenes where it's just the most random famous people you've ever seen, and it's just like
Nick Offerman.
They're here. Yeah. Nick Offerman's pretty good. He doesn't do a lot, but when he does, it's very well done.
The biggest thing he's impressed me with was Devs, Alex Garland's Devs.
He's good in the one Last of Us episode he's in. He's good in
that. Same level of work. Yeah, 3rd, 4th, I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a good episode.
Yeah.
There's some good CG in this movie. So the problem with this set was
it the guy from Liar Liar?
They weren't supposed to shoot in the set. Or no, the set was supposed to be like, there's supposed to be a different location this was set in technically. But because of COVID, they had to change things around. And by the time they actually got to shooting it, they were really pissed that the place just looked really flat. So he does a lot of like crossing the line within the scene just to like keep you in tune. I don't know if I've told you all this. I've talked about the test screening stuff, but they also track when people go to the bathroom during test screenings, so they know where the pace is going up and down.
They I'm not gonna say which ones I've been to, but I've been to 2 or 3 major test screenings here in Atlanta, and it's really weird to watch a movie in that way because a lot of times the music is. I mean, you guys know how they
temp
go,
music,
like music, and so you end up hearing music from different movies, and it's one of those things where like if you watch a lot of movies and you recognize scores, it's one of those things where it's so like funny to think about. A lot of unfinished CG. No, go ahead.
Like how unfinished?
For I saw a very in 2017 I saw a very, very early cut of what was the first Into the Spider-Verse? And the first one?
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. And the part where he jumps, where he a lot of it, yeah, where the part where he jumps off the building, they had the Man of Steel theme in it, like from the trailer or whatever.
Oh, instead of
and I remember when someone on Twitter like put that theme over it, like this would have been sick, and everyone was dogging on him, and I was like, damn, they actually put that in the original fucking first cut. I was like, he wasn't far off.
A lot of times, to answer your question, Vikash,
Henry Zierdy,
man, they use PNGs and they just swipe them across the screen depending on what it is. Sometimes they really don't do anything with it. They may just leave it blank, but they'll put like notes at the bottom, whatever it might be. It's fun though. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
I'm glad Zierny's back. He's got such a he's just got that charisma, that like got that stage presence. We see Angela Bassett. In the photo. She's in the next movie, but she is president now.
She is in the new movie, and she's in it for more than people are probably gonna think.
How's my woman Hannah Waddingham in Final Reckoning?
How's my boy? Actually, I want to keep. I'm not gonna ask anymore.
I already know Hannah's probably got like a small role,
even though I'm not gonna be able to see
this. I'm not worried about it.
I'm not gonna be able to see it until like the week after, but it's okay. We'll live.
Carrie's fantastic. Another casting that oddly,
the first movie I saw of his wasn't in Princess Bride. It was Liar Liar.
Oh, okay.
He's like quote unquote like new stepdad almost.
Yeah. Carrie is the villain in Stranger Things season 3. I think he's actually really great in that. And I was just like, I forgot.
I remember when that was. How long ago was that? Like 7 years ago at this point. But I thought they had recast what's his face for him. What's his fucking name, dude? I'm drawing blanks today.
Are you talking about David Harbour?
No, not David Harbour. Matthew Modine.
Oh,
I was like, did they recast? I was like,
so
he's in he has a recurring role in Psych. If y'all have ever seen that, he's fantastic in that.
I've not seen Psych, but I know about it. Little thing about like Final Reckoning is those shots that they were just showing of like Ilsa's character in the desert where they like talking and it's just showing like shots like that.
Yeah.
So imagine the first hour of Final Reckoning and it's just that, but with flashback scenes.
So talking over flashbacks.
Yeah, that's literally how the
entire. Are we spoiling too much?
Goes. Are we spoiling? No, because I'll tell you this right now: those flashbacks, all of them are in the trailer.
Gotcha. I assume
that's why I was saying I'm like
the famous.
I've heard what they said. I've managed.
But I guess
my
it is
expectations
kind of is all over the internet.
Yeah. I'm excited either way.
I hope it does well at the box office, but we'll see. Apparently, Lilo and Stitch is tracking hard.
Yeah. This dude's face, whoever Tom is actually, like Ethan's dressed as.
That's Ethan Hunt.
Like he just looks scary. He looks horrifying. Like that dude would be a serial killer.
I think that's what it is.
It's not just the eyebrows; it's the sharp jaw. It's his eyes. Is it just? He looks like he's staring past your soul into the deepest, darkest crevices of your mind, into the darkness that you breed with the negativity. And I'm joking. Whatever. I'm listening to all this dialogue, and that's what's coming out of my head.
It looks like the actor, which name's Bern Gorman. If you saw his face, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Oh yeah, that guy. That guy.
That guy. He's got a square face.
That score, Lauren.
This is green, man. Did you guys ever
the trailer for this? Yeah.
I think we talked about this with the first episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, he's Henry Cerny's in it. Yeah.
This guy.
Great.
Yeah, he's in it.
This guy.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Eliza Scanlon.
Dude,
I know.
In Watcher,
he's in a Pacific Rim and a couple of.
He's fantastic in Watcher.
Yeah, Watcher.
Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, he was in the Hunger Games, the more recent one too. He's in like a couple scenes. Played like a general or something.
Ballad. Yeah. He's in the back end of Ballad. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that guy. He's like the guy when
he's a great character.
Whenever he's like the epitome character actor, and he plays like, oh yeah, I love that guy. He's a good actor.
I understand what you mean, Martin. Right here, the shot of Tom. It just feels TV.
Yeah. One thing
and not
I do
good
like
TV. I'm
about
talking about like
this,
2010
I feel like they're
digital
trying to
camera
make it
TV.
this scene specifically feels like the first Mission Impossible.
But one thing I like about it is that it is,
in.
yes, just like that, but also the tables on this one have turned where he's the one in control here.
Mm-hmm. Like, especially the way it's shot, it's like they're trying to go back to Palma.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. That's why the Dutch angles, I think, work for me in that scene, because it's like you're paying homage there, but it's like
to someone who's in the first one. Yeah. Yeah, going from Fallout to like this, like I can tell visually it's a step down.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting. There's a lot. And I think it's shots like this where they're very colorful and they look as good as they do. Like that scene where they're in that office and the green really pops, but at the same time, it just looks very dull.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's the same problem. So have y'all seen Velvet Buzzsaw?
Yes. And
I have not.
I think the same thing about that movie. It looks horrendous.
But you understand what I'm saying, that Bob Elswit shot Rogue Nation, right? But when he went and started shooting, he shot Nightcrawler on film, and then he shot, I mentioned Skyscraper, actually, he also shot that on digital.
It just felt wrong. A little bit. Velvet Buzzsaw, was that... I don't think shooting digital is inherently like the worst thing in the world. Like it can look good, but...
Oh, I know, it's just in their hands.
Was that Netflix produced or did they buy it?
They bought it. That was still Dan Gilroy.
Let me see. Velvet Buzzsaw 2019. Someone's seen this.
You don't need to.
Its world premiere in 2019 Sundance. Yeah, it premiered at Sundance. So yeah, I assume
it's Netflix produced and they bought it.
Distributed by Netflix production company Netflix though.
So yeah, so they produced it. You see, that's why
produced
it.
Yeah,
it's
because they bought the script at probably.
But the interesting thing is that then Bob Elswit goes to shoot Ripley, which is also Netflix, and it looks completely different, a whole lot better.
They definitely have their liberties on specific things. Like I think once you've kind of earned your spot with Netflix, they're a little bit more accepting. That's why Noah Baumbach gets the chance to do movies like Marriage Story.
Fincher gets his,
you have Scorsese able to do The Irishman, the way that he wants to. But at the same time,
but that's the thing. Everything you just mentioned, for the most part, is shooting. They're either or half of them are shooting film and half of them are shooting digital, but they still look good.
For a lot of them, I think some of them look good. It depends.
Yeah. Like the ones you just mentioned.
Well, they look good.
This looks better than 90% of Netflix movies. So.
It's not bad. It's just we've seen better. We literally just watched better. So it's like, it just feels baffling that this is where we are. And it's like, you can try as hard as you can, but it's like, McQuarrie pulled up Fraser McTaggart to shoot this. He should have gone with maybe someone more seasoned.
The big thing about this movie too that we're probably not considering is that COVID.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's what I was saying earlier. I think
when it came to
how many
this,
cast or how many crew
hindered them a lot. Yeah.
No, but when it comes to that, when they shut down, they did keep their department heads and a lot of people on from March all the way to September when they started shooting again, because Tom realized like this is going to affect everybody and we got to worry about people's families at this point. So there were some shifts, but they tried to keep everybody on, and it was not an easy shoot in a sense because people were trying to stay together and like get close to each other, but they could not get close to each other. And it got to a point where McQuarrie literally had to turn his monitor to a corner and turn around from everybody else and just sit in a corner and direct. And then people started kind of following the rules. And we've obviously heard the audio of Tom Cruise going off on these people. And he's 100% valid. Like, this is a safety issue. It's a production issue.
When that happened, I remember that there's some people bashing him. And I'm like, listen, I get that he's maybe like being that way. But how many times did he ask them nicely off camera and off that recording?
Oh, yeah.
To do it without...
It just takes that one time for him to yell is when that goes viral.
For someone to be like, oh, he's crashing out. Like, that's not true at all. Question about this in the title card. How do you guys feel about title cards coming in as late as this? Because this was 30 minutes. 28 minutes.
Did it feel like 28 minutes?
No, it didn't. But that's my point is that, like, there are some movies where you're watching it and you're like, whoa, we're like an hour in and we just got the title card.
Drive My Car was the one you mentioned specifically.
That was exactly the one I was thinking about. Actually, funny. Drive My Car is I think like
127 hours is like 25, I think.
Almost Mickey 17 recently is one that I think of the most, but that's like 17 minutes. And then Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, I want to say was about 30 minutes too. I don't know off the top of my head for real how much it was just because I didn't have my phone on me. But if I had to take a guess, probably 30 minutes, give or take.
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Pisses me off that
what?
Part 1, dude.
Dude. Is this like a relic now? Should I sell this? Part 1?
I wonder if the 4K that you can buy now has been like altered at all.
Did they re-edit it?
So these two,
if they put out the new box set, they're probably gonna re-edit it.
This is Tarzan Davis, who y'all recognize from Top Gun, and Shea Wiggum. I already told the story, but I'll say it for perpetuity on this one. That Shea Wiggum saw Christopher McQuarrie, I think, at an agent's like house party or something, and he was like, "Yeah, guys, I really love what y'all do, and I'd love to be in this thing." And so randomly, he was just like, "Okay, I guess Shea Wiggum's in our movie. I don't know what role you're playing it, but you're gonna be in the movie." Pat, and then they didn't have it figured out.
Hold up your 4K for Dead Reckoning real fast.
I need to turn like the blur off, but
where does it say Part 1 on your 4K? Is it right below the title? They changed it. They changed the artwork for the 4K.
It says it on the spine too.
Hold on, I don't think you can see it on here. It's too right.
It says it on the spine too, Part 1.
It doesn't say it on here.
Oh damn!
Of course,
they changed it.
Damn, this is out of print. Out of print.
Well, for Tarzan, so they told Shay and they told Tarzan, they told both of them like, hey, we don't know what role you're playing. You might be in the movie, you might not be in the movie at the end of the movie, but we'd really love to work with y'all. And both of them were just game to do whatever they were doing. And they end up being added to pretty much every single scene in this movie after 30 minutes, right? They're always on his case. And I assume they explore why he knows Tom or Ethan later, but Shea Wiggum is always a plus.
When you say later, do you mean in Final Reckoning?
In Final Reckoning, yeah.
Actually, mean in Joker 2.
I'm not gonna say how,
or
but
Joker
yes,
3. Sorry.
This airport was an unopened airport, so they essentially just got lucky that it's Tom Cruise and it's like, oh yeah, like you can shoot in our unopened airport, and they already have a good relationship with those people.
I remember being in the theater at this scene. And I was just like, literally again, I was just like, damn, these guys are getting old.
It's Tom specifically. I remember thinking like, man, you're getting old.
And when it cut to Simon too, I was like, damn, he's getting old.
Luther too. Luther's probably the one that has. He doesn't look as old, but he's also the one that feels the most old.
Oh yeah,
black don't crack.
But as doing this rewatch, it's just like, damn, I just watched them age I just watched Tom Cruise age 30 years.
This man of like crazy to have that feeling and realizing that like someone you're watching is getting older as you just watch all their movies.
Yeah. You just spent 30 years in 2 weeks for us or 3 weeks. I need Shay to have a beard in every movie he's in. I like this clean shaven Shay. Clean shaven Shay, no.
Do you all know Shay's daughter? Shay. I think her name's Georgette Wiggum. She's in the TED show. I know her from a couple other things, but really talented too. She's funny, real funny.
Is she the one that Ted goes in on in that clip that I've seen? Actually, seen the show.
I guess she's kind of got like dreads hair.
Not gonna lie.
Actually,
surprisingly, that show is kind of funny. Not gonna lie, I watched it. It was pretty funny.
Surprisingly, it is very funny.
Yeah,
I hear it's good.
Because Ted 2, I was not
genuinely good.
Ted, I think, is still pretty funny, but Ted 2 is. Not.
I would recommend the show over the movies. I'd recommend the show.
Yeah, and they're making an animated series right now too.
I mean, run it into the ground.
The fucking Ted.
But yeah, I will say, Ted, that first season was actually pretty damn funny. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't wait for a season 2. I mean, just might as well.
Yeah, I don't know if they transition season 2 to just do animated or what, but
they're probably doing both.
Yeah, but yeah, that clip's like famous of now Ted when he goes in on the girl at school. Like, damn, Ted.
What is he saying to the girl?
He basically just, because she like making fun of the teacher who is technically like what's his face's mom, Mark Wahlberg's younger version mom, is a substitute, and then she's making fun of her, like her outfit, and then Ted just goes in on her, and even like
that's a different girl, but
Ted.
it's hilarious.
Damn, Ted.
No, but the woman, I forgot her name, the actress playing the mother in that, she's fantastic. She's also the mother in Euphoria.
She's in Last of Us right now, but she's most famously Legally Blonde. She's one of Elle's
Legally
friends.
Blonde. Yeah, I see her name in my head, but it's
yeah.
So this guy right here, I'm pretty sure IMDb says like the dude Shea Wiggum was just like, can I just put my hand in your mouth real quick? It's
like, makes it funny. Cool. It's funnier, like going in the mouth. That's funnier.
McQuarrie said that a lot of Shea Wiggum's stuff is just him going ham. He's like, oh, can I do this? Okay, cool. Let me do this. And like, oh, what you have written is not good enough. Let me up the ante a little bit.
I think it's a good callback though, because it shows us that like they're aware that like he's notorious for the mask shit, like
mask gag. Yeah.
How do you?
That's what I'm saying. He knows him to some extent. Again, the geography in this scene is fantastic.
The geography is great, but one thing I think really is not really acknowledged about this sequence entirely is that there's like this translation of technology for anybody who doesn't know what's going on with the AI thing, where like they're actively showing the audience members like how this entity is working against them as well as for itself, where like it's showing the camera footage and it like shows like how it can like immediately like disappear.
Yeah,
it's very precise. I like it.
It's subtle.
It's very subtle, but it does a good job of explaining it.
Or subtle, but it's like when Simon looks at the computer and then it like changes it again, but then you hear the sound of the entity, so it's like,
yeah, it's subtle.
You know,
so, like,
something's going on.
You know it's there.
Yeah.
You feel its presence even if you don't see it.
And the crazy thing is that, you know, we're not far from this. That's what it feels like. It feels prescient. And I think that's when the work is effective, right? You talk about Terminator. Why is that effective? It feels like that could happen, that people would give AI.
I mean, I kind of want to counter that a little bit, because I agree with you to an extent with the AI being very prescient now, where it's like a thing that people are talking about. But with Terminator, the AI thing is like very bombastic and it's very like over the top, where like, you know, when people think about the future, they overestimate like the things that we are able to do with it. They're able to look at technology in a way that's like, okay, like, yeah, 15. You weren't technically wrong.
I mean,
we were there, but it's just we got there differently. Whereas
the way I think of it is like it's prescient in the sense of like the themes they're talking about, but the way it's going about it is always lofty. Like this is obviously lofty, but like, you know, it feels.
I don't find it to be lofty.
Grounded.
I find it to be very like grounded in the sense that like the AI isn't just like some AI entity robot that's trying to kill people. It's like this abstract concept of like a hard drive on a ship, the way that you see in the movie, but also it's not going after just destroying the world. It's going after like the information and the crumbling of information, the way that people process information, the way that like communication works.
You can
compare it to Eagle Eye and compare it to Age of Ultron.
Very, very
just
well
for pop culture.
That's what I mean.
Because Age of Ultron and Eagle Eye both have similar kind of takes about this. Bro. And iRobot, great one, three great ones. Isaac Asimov, man. I don't know if you've ever read those.
What about her? What about her?
Her's great.
Actually, funny enough, whenever we were talking about AI movies about AI, I thought of her. Not because I think it's like the best one, but
I think that is probably the most.
Actually,
that is the more realistic.
It is one of the
best
ones.
It's not far off. That type of AI is not far off. Give it 5 years.
I spent a long time
have that
thinking
the love online. That's not real.
Yeah, like her, I thought about it for a long time as being like a romance movie. And then, you know, me and Zach have argued about that for a long, long time. And I finally rewatched her in the last like 3-4 years. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is a science fiction movie through and through.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people don't talk about it. It's still one of my favorite movies.
It was ahead of its time.
Oscar-winning film. Oscar-winning film.
I mean, people
ScarJo should have
the co-creator of Jackass comes her.
What is y'all's favorite movies from Spike? Yeah. It pisses me off that man doesn't direct. It pisses me off. He's fantastic.
What's your favorite movie other than her?
Her.
No, it's a fantastic film.
Adaptation.
Adaptation is a pretty solid movie, but
What other ones has he done?
I mean, like he's a great director. He's a great filmmaker. It's just one of those things where, like, I think
you know what he's great in. He's great in Moneyball. He's only in like one scene. And he's like,
in the Wolf of Wall
step husband,
stepfather.
The step. He's the step like husband. He's like, he talks about the girl getting her cell phone. And he goes,
yeah.
If we want to talk about, we can. And Brad Pitt just goes, her mother and I will discuss it. Just the way, and then the way he sits back in his chair being so small, it's like, dude, it's so good.
He's great in Wolf of Wall Street. His cameo in Her is fantastic.
He's in one scene.
I'm talking like this. Hey, you want to come with me on the game and we can play together? Come on, let's go.
Being John Malkovich is a great fucking movie.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that. It's been so long. Same thing with adaptation.
He's only made like 5 movies. He's made four narrative and then one documentary.
And the Beastie Boys doc.
I heard he made Which Wild Things Are.
Interestingly, was shot by Autumn Durald Arkapaw of Sinners. He has fame recently. Coming. I've been a fan of Autumn since Palo Alto, though.
G.A. Coppola film?
Yeah. Haley Atwell. Fantastic.
Bro, isn't that Captain America's like girl?
I was thinking about Black Mirror first, actually.
Yeah, there are
all this stuff behind Simon Pegg.
Dutchies in this one. I'm gonna call them Dutchies from now on.
All the stuff behind Simon is green screen.
Dutchy.
Look at that Dutchie.
They did some great CG work in this.
Yeah, what's Haley Atwell in that's besides Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because we need to know.
I don't want to say it, but she has some good work, but not a lot of great stuff. The great thing for me is her episode
she played Cinderella's mom in the Cinderella live action.
Kenneth Branagh. 6 Degrees of Dutch Angles.
Dude, half of her credits are just the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Doesn't she do stage plays?
She's in Paddington and Peru. I didn't see that yet. She's
okay. I've been sitting on the Blu-ray.
I think she's a lot of
waiting to watch it.
Wait, is she a voice in that movie or is she in the movie?
It says Grace. No, it says Madison. Sorry, no, this is Grace.
So she's in it. She's probably got a small role.
I remember seeing her.
Yeah, she's in I would say about 45% of her credits are part of the MCU.
That's crazy.
Which, I mean, get your bag.
I did like her in whatever. I mean, I like her in the movies. I didn't watch Agent Carter, but I liked her as
that character, she's good in
Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, wasn't she the
Captain America whatever? Yeah. Variant or whatever.
Damn, now I can't unsee all the Dutchies. I forgot that they were.
There's a ton of the movie.
That's not like
literally when he gets to the when they get to Rome and they're sitting there at the desk, talking to the corrupt politician or whatever cop. Like there's Dutches there too.
Do you think if this movie looked as good as Fallout did, that this would be about the same level as Fallout for you? Or do you think it's a few more things than that?
My problem with this movie, we've already talked about it, spoilers, is that they kill Rebecca Ferguson's character. They kill Ilsa Faust. Besides that, I really enjoy this movie.
Right, but that's more of a writing decision. I wouldn't say it's more of an enjoyment thing.
It is for me.
For you,
it got to a point where it is an enjoyment thing for me.
I think I agree with you said earlier. I think this movie is a lot more, and I guess the new one, a lot more talking as opposed to the last one, which did have talking, but that was just nonstop. We're moving the entire time. Like this scene feels very like we're not really moving, even though we are. But I think the pacing for this movie isn't bad. Like the pacing's fine. Like I remember watching this in theaters. Like I didn't think it was like a 3-hour movie.
Listen to this.
It feels like it goes by very quick.
Palm was in the movie more, and McHugh's explanation for cutting her out is essentially that she's in scenes where you're kind of distracted by her because she has such an energy, like such a magnetism that they had to cut her out. And imagine for an actor to be that
and
great,
someone saying that they cut out your scenes because you were just too fucking.
You're commanding the screen too hard. Do you understand?
Good old Tom Cruise
in this film.
Palm Clementine.
He's paying for this shit. We can't have this. Final Reckoning. Palm is great. I've been saying it for years now. She is a fantastic actress.
I've been a fan since Guardians 2. Like, as soon as I saw her for the first time, she just has an energy.
Mm-hmm.
Props to James Gunn. James Gunn knows how to cast. You got to give the man his credit there.
Ballerina. Did you see that?
She's in it?
No, I'm just saying.
He saw it. Yeah, he said that he saw it. He's also dating on Adama, so like, yeah, I
really?
can see that. I think he is. I don't think they're like. They might. Just be having like a thing.
I know that she's moved.
He did also say that The Flash was one of the best comic book movies ever made. So.
He did say that. One thing I would say about
ain't watching comic book movies.
He did say that about The Flash, and so did Stephen King, which is absurd.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Stephen King only said that because the director was adapting his books into television shows.
Andy Muschietti.
Yeah, Stephen King has interesting taste. A great writer, but some of his takes, you're like, okay, interesting. The Flash is one of the greatest films ever made. Interesting.
I do think this scene is thrilling, but it's not visually thrilling. Does that make sense?
I think that's what I was trying to get at. It's like it's a step down.
Like the camera's moving, and it's making it compelling. The dialogue, like it's using everything.
It's like they're shooting the close-ups like it's Mission 1. Like they're trying to go back to that look, and like you said, it's like they brought in somebody else. It's a different look and feel.
Is it Mission 1, or are they pretty much doing what the modern standard is now for filmmaking?
Yeah, but when you're coming,
I wouldn't say you're giving him too much credit.
Yeah, and you're going post Fallout to this. It's definitely visually, you're like, this doesn't look that good.
I think a lot of
it looks good, but
in the way that things are shot is probably
and that's why they're probably shooting it close up because they couldn't get as many extras as they possibly could. Yeah,
stuff like this is really hard.
So they got to shoot it closer. Makes sense.
I think it also says something that McQuarrie always wants to look at location to write what he wants to do, but would y'all ever shoot in this airport?
I think I would shoot at any airport if I was given the opportunity.
I wouldn't.
I would just build one, like Nathan Fielder,
I just wouldn't. Right? Yeah, which is
or Spielberg for the terminal. What he built an entire terminal.
It is insane, but
I don't think the airport's the problem. It's really the framing and the staging and the amount of like composition that the amount of composition that you have with every shot. They all look similar.
But my thing is that they're just glorified malls. Maybe it's just a personal taste. Maybe it's because I've spent a little bit of time recently in airports.
Right,
I mean, some of them look cool,
but like other airports, like they can look visually like distinctive. They can also just look different. It's just a matter of like you're saying like they're shooting in these like mall like areas that look like malls, and I get that, but they could have shot anywhere, and they chose to shoot in those little areas.
Shoot these,
Airports do have like mall kiosks, so.
And because I went to Singapore recently, and they have Changi Airport is like supposed to be one of these most beautiful airports in the world or something, and they have this water feature that's fantastic, but besides that, it's a glorified mall. And same thing in Turkey. Turkey has this crazy nice airport also, and it's just
they got to get people with hair transplants.
Actually, there's at least like 20 of them, and one of them I was on my way back to Atlanta, and the dude next to me was he had one. So
is that where Travis Kelce went?
I mean, that's where me and Pat are going soon. I mean, it's
gonna
be me, Pat. Yeah, me, Pat, my dad, Pat's dad. It's gonna make a boys' trip out of it.
So, like, back to your point, Vikash, about an airport. Casino Royale, counter argument.
True. You're right. You're 100% right. Because that scene is
counter argument.
I'm here all day. What'd you say?
The terminal, the entire movie takes place at an airport.
Phil Melway, I don't know how to say his last name. The guy who shot Casino Royale did a fantastic job with that movie. That movie is
airport design. It looked like a
that and
sand dune.
Skyfall are the best shot Bond movies, even though. And I guess you have Lena Sandgren and Hoyte van Hoytema who've done some recent Bond movies. That's the one thing about Bond; they do get some good talent, which frustrates me here.
Damn, brother.
Recent.
I think you can. This is gonna sound kind of cocky. It's gonna sound boastful, but it's like you can have new people at all sorts of different jobs, but it cannot be your DP. Your DP has to be someone good when it comes to one of these big movies, in my opinion. It's like, it's rare. Yeah. It's unless it's someone you've worked with, like Steve Yedlin and Ryan Johnson have worked together forever, and that makes sense, right? But maybe that wasn't the case here.
That relationship, Spielberg using Janisch for 35 years.
Yeah,
it's like I don't need to I trust him.
It's
I know what it's gonna look like. Yeah.
Jaron Blanche and Robert Eggers, right? They've been working together 3 for 3 now, right? You see this Dutch angle? You see what I was talking about with the with this fake Ferrari looking dude?
Yeah,
he looks like
looking dude is crazy.
Nope, he looks like he could be Adam Driver's older brother in Ferrari. Mm-hmm. See, they do compelling visual work. That's not what I'm saying. Like it's a great composition work with these passports, right? Like it works, but
Martin, that's the other one in my stack is Ferrari. Beau is afraid.
I understand.
Ferrari,
Kinds of Kindness. Kinds of Kindness.
I can see maybe not watching like Kinds of Kindness or Beau, which funny enough, I actually rewatched both.
I haven't seen Ferrari.
Makes sense because Michael Mann. I'm like, I haven't watched this yet, and then I just put it right back down.
I'm gonna just rewatch Collateral or Thief.
I mean, Ferrari's solid, man. I don't think it's incredible, but Adam Driver's really good in it.
Michael Mann released a whole
late 2023, 2024 films that are just sitting there.
Michael Mann had like a whole Bible created for like the making of Ferrari, and I'm like, this is such a compelling concept. I love the idea, but I'm like, why can't it be a different and better movie? And I haven't even seen Ferrari yet, so it's like, hypocritical of me.
I did rewatch Beau, funny enough, and I liked it a lot more on a rewatch.
It's awesome, right?
I saw you watching it again.
I watched it twice within like when I first watched it, whatever, I don't know, like a few months ago. I watched it twice within a week.
It's very all over the place, and I think it's one of those things where I think you're either gonna fuck with it the first time you watch it, or you're really not. But I really liked it the first time. It's definitely not going to be for everybody. I know that.
I think it's such a manic energy that Ari brings to that movie where it's like, you just need to invest within it. And it's like, he doesn't give you a reason not to. I think everything he does is compelling.
I hear what you're saying. It's compelling, but it's like, if there are some things in that movie, I would say like, you're either going to rock with it from like the get-go, or you're just really not.
Sometimes I sit my tongue.
I was saying in our group chat, I was like, I'd rather have a director do that than being like,
1,000%.
The most basic.
I think we all agree on that. Is that I want you to swing for the fence.
Like Eddington, I've heard some people are like, it's fucking terrible. It's like, okay, well, I still want to see it because now I'm interested in this polarizing film.
That's what I think about a lot of movies that are like super. I guess you could say ballsy, like Megalopolis.
Out there,
is the one that I
would say.
Yeah,
Megalopolis, like.
Beau is Afraid. Beau is Afraid is easily the best out of the three, but like Megalopolis and Southland Tales, they are inherently trying to say something that is so bold, and it's like sometimes incoherent, but at the same time, it's like I would take this every day over some crappy like
over the slop, or even like over
the
that.
Slop.
It's like
just say even like slop.
I know
it is slop.
Yeah. Like the Horizon films, like I don't know if the second one will ever come out, but it's like at least he's like making an effort. It's like this is 4 movies. It's going to be one thing that I'm making. I'd rather watch that than watch.
They did give us an update today about
this franchise number 65. Like, I don't, whatever, man. Like, I'd rather watch someone that's actually passionate about what they're doing.
Like we mentioned Haley Atwell and half of her. Oh, go ahead.
What part 2? What'd they say? They said this will never see the light of day. I hate you, Kevin Costner.
Distribution issue.
I can't remember what I read. It's a distribution issue. Yeah.
I think they're filing a lawsuit.
So this scene right here, y'all aren't gonna believe this, but they shot this scene, like Haley's part and Tom's part, separately over like a 6-month gap or something like that, months apart.
I believe it.
Probably COVID can be in this.
The craziest one I've ever heard is from Pirates of the Caribbean, where they were shooting scenes inside the ship on separate, like 3 months apart.
It happens.
A tribute to the editing.
But
if
like,
you have good editing, you don't notice
it's a tribute to like the production team. Like, how did y'all have to recreate everything and it feels seamless? And yeah, that is editing.
Well, you could probably send them. You can send the edit, like the clips to like throw these together, see what they look like right now.
But I'm talking about like 2005. You know, like is it Darius Wolski that shot
that's
those?
different. I mean, that's but I'm talking about like now. You can, if they especially they shoot it digital. Like
I mean, now you can literally sit there with a MacBook and show do it
and just put them together just to see what it looks like real quick.
I think Soderbergh is the one who like taught me those lessons where it's like you have no excuse now. Like you can literally cut that thing together.
He's like, all right, guys, let's go home. And he's like in his car. He's like, hold on, let me edit this scene really quickly. I'm actually gonna put the whole movie together right now on my phone.
Good. He actually edited Black Bag like as soon as they finished shooting. He finished it the same night.
So if you
he just sends it off.
Do y'all look at his logs, his diaries for like when he watches movies and stuff?
Of Soderbergh?
He'll have like he'll have a whole diary of like what he watched for the year.
Yeah.
So
I think he puts on his website, I think.
Yeah. So it's like Logan Lucky. I watched the cut of Logan Lucky. This, that, like whatever. Like he'll put everything on there. It's actually really cool. I think more people should do that.
They have the Bong Joon-ho exhibit, and they have his old like '90s journal where he would what movie he watched. What movie he watched, and then like his rating. Yeah, it's like his rating, and he gave it like a 5, obviously 5 out of 5 or whatever. But yeah, you can see all the movies he watched in like the 90s. He had all his VHS tapes at the top. Silence of the Lambs was one of them that he like burned off with just a VCR. Like, it's just like, damn.
Did you guys?
I used to do that though, writing in a journal.
Same.
That like Raiders of the Lost Ark cut that's in black and white with the Social Network score on it. The Soderbergh did.
That's Soderbergh. Yeah.
Are you talking about for?
I watched clips of it. I was just
Indiana
like,
Jones
I don't know if
or
it's
something else.
Raiders, right? It's the Raiders.
It's Raiders.
Yeah.
So get this.
I watched it.
It's
basically him showing that you can. Yeah, you can watch this movie, understand what's going on without any dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's a tribute to a good film.
The work that he does, especially in that opening, is just stunning work. And I mean, when has Spielberg not been the GOAT, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes.
There's a lot of body doubles in this scene. Or not a lot, but there's a body double in this scene. Apparently there's a lot of body doubles in this movie just throughout either way.
The editing is a little wonky on his face too. Like when they cut back and forth, and they have a shot that's clearly from like 6 months prior or 6 weeks prior.
He just has a beard, and then it cuts back. He doesn't have a beard. People notice.
He has a hat. It gets bigger as the shot keeps cutting.
Can't get into the car. Oh, that's just a great gag.
You know what's funny? You know what the word for to bother is, like the verb for in Spanish, to bother?
Molestar.
Oh my god. I'm so stupid. My bad.
You forget that I'm Mexican?
Yeah.
That I'm Spanish?
My bad. But like, as a middle schooler learning the word is molestar. It's like,
hey man, I know
you're right. Like we used to write skits, and we would write in molestar
like
everything.
That word in general is like, you can use it in different contexts. So like, if someone's saying like don't bother him, they'd say like no le molestes, like don't bother him. No, molestes means like don't bother, but it can also be used in the sense of like, oh, don't bother him, you're bothering me.
In Gaelic, it is bodar. That's the language of my.
I couldn't figure out the word today for early or late in Spanish. I felt so stupid because I was talking to somebody. I could not figure it out in my head. I was like, I gotta go to Google Translate.
I feel like this movie also takes a step back in the sense that like he's riding that motorcycle and it's got that like, it just looks really goofy.
Oh, the thing on the back.
The whole thing looks just goofy. The little like.
My problem is that if you compare it to Fallout.
I feel like it's like this. Yeah, you're trying to do the same exact scene you just did. No. It's the same like location. That's not my obviously problem. The same one, but
that's not my problem. My problem is just visually, it doesn't feel right.
Yo, give me a motorcycle chase.
Can y'all tell that this is CG?
French Alps.
What CG exactly?
Like outside the environment is CG.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell in this shot, but when they get out of the car, I mean, on rewatch you can tell. Which I mean, you know, they do a great job. Like ILM did a great job, but still.
Mm-hmm. But again, it's
like you can tell this class is CG, but they did a good job.
It's like for COVID restrictions, it's like, you know, it's a lot.
And plus, it's timing because of where they're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a cut there?
I don't think you could. Yeah, they cut out some frames. Yeah.
Dude, he just fucking little two people with a motorcycle. Just fucking launched it.
All of this works. Like the visuals do work. It's just it feels a step down from the last one. That's all.
It's the editing, man. The editing and the visual style just looks different.
Because you know what the problem is also that when you shoot digital compared to film, it feels like the lenses I think just look different to me. That you're like when he was on the bike, they're shooting a really wide lens, and I don't know. I wouldn't put a wide lens there in that sense. It just felt like kind of what they did on Top Gun Maverick, except they actually had like 4 or 5 cameras put together.
Got Arri Alexa, Panavision CDE and H series lenses, some scenes. Sony Cinealta Venice Rialto. Panavision.
That Sony camera be getting work from Claudio Miranda. He's been a big fan of that camera for a long time. The Sony systems. I think he's been using Sony systems since Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Benjamin. Then you have the case for Fincher, though. He shoots digital and it looks fucking good. So
yeah,
there's a case for a lot of people. I don't want
to hear anybody complaining about digital.
Yeah. No. I'm saying for this case,
it's his style.
Because but the thing is, like, there's so many people who've done digital, and there's no difference between the two tools now. It's just like in terms of this is the same director. It's just you see there's something different going on.
I think the big thing with these movies that makes the digital feel different is that for up to a certain point, a lot of them are just not digital, and then all of a sudden this one is, and it just looks digital. Significantly different because of it. But also, like we said, it's shot in a different style as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they went 6 movies, right? They went 20 years, they went 22 years without shooting digital. And I know I assume that they went to digital because just feasibility with what they're pulling off, that digital is just going to be faster to work with. Faster and easier.
For faster and for, COVID restrictions, it's just, you can get it done faster.
Actually, I brought up Martin, have you watched Steve Yedlin's camera test stuff on his website?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I feel like I know what you're talking
about. So Steve Yedlin, who is Rian Johnson's DP, he essentially went through and did an insane amount of science work and color theory work and just everything possible to go into the research of, film versus digital. And he's gotten it down to a point where it's like, you have no excuse if you're shooting digital. Both they can look the same now.
Mm-hmm.
And his work shows it, watch Knives Out, and, I couldn't tell for a hot minute.
Knives Out looked fucking good. No. Knives Out 2, I don't know, but Knives Out did look fucking great. I felt when I was watching Knives Out, I felt cold. I felt like it was fall.
But that's the best movies, aren't they? It's Prisoners reminds me of a cold, rainy night.
Well, that's also Deacons. Where it's Deacons is I'm good. Give me 15 seconds. We're good to go. He said, "Do you know who the fuck I am?"
What do y'all think? This scene versus the chase inspector with Hinks and Bond.
This reminds me of the chase in No Time to Die.
I really like No Time to Die, but I'm also...
You're talking about the chase in the beginning in Matera?
Yeah.
I think that's better shot, obviously, because of Lena Sandgren.
No, I'm just saying this scene reminds me of that. That's what I feel like this, rewatching this, it seemed like it's going, again, I watched Fallout 3 days ago, but it just seems like it's just, again,
The Fiat portion is funny.
You're trying to do the
same.
Like this. Yeah, you're trying to do like the same thing, and it doesn't really because you have Sean Harris in that scene in Fallout.
Yeah, there's a tension there.
Yeah. This is funny though. Here's your comedic relief.
McQuarrie said he's been waiting to do this since like 2017. he's like, Ethan, Fiat 500, like make this happen.
Yeah, I remember this getting
which is funny.
Laugh.
It is
him looking at the windshield wipers got a big laugh, and that could be improv by Tom. He's so smart with everything else. He doesn't know how to drive a Fiat.
It sounds like they just put like some sort of like it sounds like an electric engine or something for the sound effect. This is like a low key like ED joke right here.
Yeah.
It's okay. Performance anxiety.
Yeah, I swear I'm good at this. And her hands like over him, like
the machine. I mean, the entity.
What's Palm?
Martin's right. It is the editing also. That there's a lot more longer shots in Fallout when it comes to the action.
This one feels like they're cutting around the action to like get rid of any mistakes to create energy. In Fallout, it's like the energy is there regardless of the cuts.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna fucking break that Fiat. Thing would have exploded.
All those people. You know what's funny? CGI. Fast X came out the same year.
Were all those people CGI there?
Yeah.
That wide? It looked like they were all CGI.
Did you see that picture I posted on Twitter of the shots of them in front of the Coliseum, both of them?
No, I kind of been.
It's like identical shots. It's so funny.
So, they use the same stairs in both movies, and
the bomb.
I think this
is the
McQuarrie said that they don't. They didn't even shoot on the stairs. They just recreated the stairs, and then there's some CG in there.
The Roman holiday stairs.
Yep.
There's a shot or there's a line in Fast X that's so funny where Helen Mirren's character mentions Roman holiday. I think it's Vin Diesel that mentions Roman holiday, and someone says something about
There's no way fucking.
And I was
Vin
thinking to myself, like,
watching.
There's no way he's watching that.
There's no way he's watching. Roman holiday.
It's the funniest line in the world. It's so funny.
I haven't. What do you call it? I haven't seen Fast X since the theater. I have zero temptation. Actually, no. I watched it one time afterwards.
Don't watch it. It is exhausting.
I watched it with my dad.
But the more I think about Fast and Furious, the more I just do a deep sigh.
We should do Fast.
I don't know, man.
3, 4, 5.
We will do it. No, we will do 7. All of them once Fast X Part 2 releases.
I mean, I've got love for them. It's just
I do too.
8, 9, 10.
I will say about Fast 10.
Not been my
it looked
sauce,
like Fast 10. It looked like what's his face was having a fucking great ass time though, and I'll give them that.
Jason Momoa, he's the only.
Jason Momoa looked like he was having a ball.
Jason's
the
fantastic.
only person in that movie that knows what is going on.
I was like watching it, and I was like, he's so over the top, and it looks like he's just having a fucking great time. Good for him.
But he's great in it. That's the thing. He understands the role and he plays it well, and he saves the movie a bit. And then the rest of it is a bunch of like.
I was cracking up at the end of that movie.
No, but the problem is that they went Avengers with. They went to like 4 or 5 plot lines within Fast X, and it's just like A plot, B plot, C plot, D plot, A plot. See, it's just exhausting.
There's too much going on. They MCU'd the Fast and Furious movies.
I think even with this scene here,
they think that we care. No offense,
this is running.
We don't care.
This chase scene's running out a little long.
The problem is it's because we're talking and we're not invested within it.
I mean, it's been like Palm Clemente doing her little thing where she shakes on camera.
I know. I was looking at what she's got coming out, and she was in a movie called Killer's Kiss or something with
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Did you guys know that Palm Clemente is in Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
Like the opening scene.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
She's not in it very long. I think she was supposed to be in it longer.
She wasn't in
it. No, I clocked her right away.
She's supposed to be in it a lot longer. Apparently, they had to cut it though.
They cut her out. Yet again, too much sauce.
The opening scene. That's it, really.
Too much sauce.
Well, I mean, one thing
Julia Fox was new for me at that point. That's about it.
The one thing I've read about Uncut Gems as well, though, is that
Uncut Gems,
Good Time and Uncut Gems were actually supposed to be like one movie, and then they separated them, like they split them.
That makes sense.
I could see them taking place in the same time
because they're both universe, kind of they're both Ronald Knight stories.
Yeah.
But they both work. That's the thing, though, right? They're both really, really good movies.
Fantastic movies. I like Good Time a little bit more than Uncut Gems.
I think I like Good Time more too.
I think I'm the other way.
Uncut Gems is an easier watch. I think Good Time's a better movie, but Uncut's a better watch, is what it is.
That's probably, you know me. You know me. You could tell. Uncut's going to be my bag.
Damn, nice.
Dan Lopatin, the score on those, fire.
I will say, never mind. I thought I was.
I was
about to say like, the score's not bad, but it is Lauren. I kept thinking you were watching the next one.
Martin.
Darius Kanji shot Uncut Gems, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I know Kanji. Did Kanji just shoot Eddington?
Did he? Hold on.
Kanji.
Yes, Kanji did. Kanji did shoot Uncut Gems.
Stand by.
Did he just shoot no, you said Chivo shot Kanji shot
he shot Eddington.
He shot Alejandro's movie, the Mexican one.
Bardo.
And Marty.
Bardo, yeah.
Supreme.
I haven't seen Bardo. I've seen 30 minutes of Bardo like 5 times. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
We're talking about Lubeski. Lubeski's doing Inarritu. Like you already did it.
Yeah.
The new one with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But Kanji shot
Is that coming out this year?
Eddington, right?
There's the shot.
Oh, okay.
The Coliseum shot.
Yeah. Okay, no, I know exactly what you mean now. I thought you were talking about like outside of the movie, but it just clicked in my head. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know. Did we talk about
you know why? Because I remember seeing it in the theater and it clicking in the theater.
Is the Inarritu coming out this year? Did we already talk about this?
Next year, 2026 October, if I remember correctly.
Dude, next year is gonna fucking cook with some of these fucking movies coming, man.
Look at
shit.
Look at Ilsa. I'm just like,
see, that's good there.
I swear to God,
you don't need no dialogue, just shoulder shrug. Like
I just want to make. I want to make one movie in Venice.
Let's go.
I want to make one movie in Venice. That's it. And when I go to Venice, I want to kill a character and just have it be the most devastating thing possible. Because Dead Reckoning does it. Casino Royale does it better, and I'm just like, let me put one in the category because I just love it because it's heartbreaking to see it happen here. It's just like cinema, like heartbreak feels good here, right? Yeah. Even though I've never been in an AMC and seen that ad.
Heartbreak feels good in a place like this. I'm waiting for them to change the movie she's watching though. They keep showing like Jurassic World.
Did y'all see the thing today? Nicole Kidman has worked with 27 female directors in the last 8 years.
Damn.
She said something about it like a few, like even before she started doing it, she said that she wanted to work with more female directors, and she kept her word.
I think a lot of the TV she does is all like female director. Too.
Female, yeah.
She's done a lot. She's done a lot of shit. Every time next month is a new Nicole Kidman project.
Perfect Strangers 2.
Perfect Strangers coming out.
She has that show on Netflix. My dad was just showing me. He was scrolling through Netflix. He's like, oh, yeah, like, look, it's Michael Beach in the show. I'm like, yeah, I love him. Michael Beach is, he plays a cop in that, whatever, the show with her and Liam Shriver. And I'm just like, this man is so much better. He's such a great actor. Like, he gets relegated to, like, these supporting roles because, you know, people don't give him a market value, essentially, as an actor.
This is kind of like the White Christmas Black Mirror episode where you can't see them.
So this is Tom Cruise's second AI movie, Loki. Loki.
Report?
Yeah.
What's the first one?
As soon as I see him reviewing the footage, I'm like, Minority Report.
Yeah.
Minority Report.
Why is the door open? The door is not open. He takes the helmet off and sprays.
It's still one of my favorite movies of all time. Just truly.
Yeah.
Does Minority Report
Spielberg, man? Does not.
No.
I was thinking about buying the Blu-ray, man, but I feel like every time I think about that, I'm like,
there's a good amount of Spielberg that isn't on 4K.
But I think it looks fantastic.
especially in the 2000s.
I'll tell you about it afterwards. Put it that way.
Because Catch If You Can has no 4K. Terminal's no 4K. Minority Report.
I was feeling it on that rewatch. I was like,
World of Worlds 1 looks good.
They need one for Catch Me If You Can.
I feel like a lot of the 4Ks that we're talking about that should get in 4Ks are probably they're waiting like an anniversary or something.
That's what I'm saying. Crimson Tide's 30 years, man. What's going on?
What'd y'all think about Gabriel?
It is still only like May. It could come out in October.
I think he is a step down in villain.
Because you know that Nicholas Hoult was supposed to be in that role of villain. He's not the same villain, but he was supposed to be a villain in this movie. And it just makes me think, I'm like, Nick would have been fantastic. I love Asai Morales.
So like a younger villain. I feel like that's what could have really worked here. Actually, I feel like they've always had like older.
Whenever villains, McQuarrie and Tom work with Nicholas Hoult, finally, it's gonna be fire. Because Nick is never not delivering. He's always delivering. We haven't talked about it yet. I think this is Cruz's worst hair. Ethan's worst hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Martin?
I think it is too.
He's
gonna say Dead.
Final Reckoning, I think, is
or Final, sorry.
Really?
I mean, I think they're kind of like the same.
That's what I mean. Is that like there's one shot in Final Reckoning where you could see his hair thinning, and I'm like, oh, he looks so old.
I'm not talking about hair thinning. I'm talking about like the style of the hair.
And I still think it's Final Reckoning. When you watch it, you'll see why. It's just it just doesn't really look styled.
Okay, understood. This feels like Lego piece hair.
It does. It does. We need Last Samurai hair to pop up.
Last Samurai hair is fantastic. I was just talking about or I was rewatching Jack Reacher as I do with my dad, and I was talking about, or he was talking about the second movie, and I was like, "Yo," I'm like Edgewick. I'm like, that's the guy who made Last Samurai.
He had Glory. He was cooking sometimes. He wrote a book that about, I haven't read it yet, but I always pick it up at Barnes and Noble. I want to read it. Basically about how he he's a cool got dude. Around Hollywood, and it's like, this is how you would do it. And then back in my day, and I made some. He basically is like, I made some cool shit. Also made some stinkers, but I made some cool shit.
Did you watch Pawn Sacrifice?
Mm-hmm. I actually like that movie.
It was good.
Completely forget it exists, and I own it. But then I see it, I'm like, oh yeah. McGuire. Yeah, where they play chess.
I saw it. It came out right when I got into college, and I was like, "Wait, this is Edgewick." I was like, "I gotta see."
And then Queen's Gambit was being pitched around, and I was like, "Oh, that's probably like this." There's someone probably pitching Queen's Gambit around and shit. And they're like, "What about this one?"
And then Queen's Gambit went crazy. I mean, Scott Frank, I love him. But the crazy thing is that he made Godless.
Queen's Gambit.
He made Godless, but that didn't come. That didn't get the hype. Great. It is.
My man Scoot McNairy.
He made a Monchois Spade for AMC with our man Clive Owen. I still need to watch it. I think it's like 6 episodes. Right now, I'm in a real middle space of like, I want to watch movies, but then if I am relegating myself into 40, 50-minute increments, then I'll just watch a show.
You see, I'm the other way around, Vikash. I choose movies that I actively know I love and movies that I've seen multiple times, because if I can only watch 15 minutes of it, I'm like, no big deal. I can.
Yeah, you can just cut them off. Yeah.
I will never start a movie for the first time knowing that I won't finish it. That's one big.
So, real quick, this balcony that Tom and Rebecca's characters, Ethan and Alyssa, are on, is actually fake. So if anybody ever wants to go, I want to go recreate this beautiful moment between these two. You can't. This is production design right here.
Dude, I was flying there tomorrow. What the fuck?
He's gonna be pissed when he gets there.
Yeah, I would be pissed. I would probably just go there. My problem is that whenever I see the world through movies, so anytime I go anywhere, I'm like, oh yeah, this is Westworld. Oh, this is this is that. This is like, oh, this is Captain America 2 right here. Right, this, in this DC thing. Oh, this is National Treasure. It's just a lens for me to see the world, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to these places.
Last time this was
what I think is really interesting about this thing with Elsa and Ethan is that for the last 2 movies he's been trying to kill him to some capacity, And this is the only scene in the movie where like you see them being affectionate in any way, really. And it's enough to where
physically
you're able to be
affectionate.
Like, yeah, physically affectionate.
She's gonna die.
And it's enough to where you're able to be like, oh, like they love each other, even without any words being spoken. Like there's not a single piece of dialogue between them where they mention anything. And yet when she dies, I fucking lost it.
It still irks me. It just does not stop irking me that she's dead. So, and I don't know till Thursday. I don't know, and then I assume Thursday I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, they didn't resolve this, so I'm just gonna be
looks incredible
pissed
in this outfit.
Scene. This is her design of makeup.
I do remember reading that.
I can't wait. Palm's gonna have a fantastic career. I don't think Palm's gonna get an Oscar, but she's actually. If I had to make a spy movie a la James Bond,
she should have been the one that's in Ballerina.
Give me Palm.
Yeah,
give me her instead.
No. You're right. You're 100% right. You're 150% right. But then again, Donnie Yen has a movie coming. And Donnie Yen plus Palm is much better than Len Wiseman plus, Ana de Armas. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. Does that come out like a week, or it comes out the week after this, after Mission, right?
June 6th, something like that.
June 6th, 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you know me.
It'll make its money. It's not going to make a lot of money, but it'll make its money.
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out the same time last year, and I was like, I got a whole thing planned. We're gonna do this, and then they pushed it a year. I'm like, I don't know why they pushed it. They're not gonna make any more money than they were already going to.
Reshoots and editing. Heard their test screenings were not great.
I heard. Oh my gosh! Guess what the runtime is? You see me in despair. What do you think the runtime is? You know what it is. Just say it.
Oh,
you don't want to
know.
When it's a bad movie. It's 90 minutes. It's an hour and 29.
90-minute action film? Oh,
it's not a bad thing. My thing, when it comes to an action movie, my favorite timing for an action movie with credits is like 2 hour, 13 minutes. It's a little long, but it's not too long. Like a solid 2 hour action movie is fantastic.
On Wikipedia, it is 125 minutes.
I'm talking. Oh wait, hold on. Let me go to IMDb. Or actually, let me just go to my theater website because the movie is about to come out, and
you can buy tickets. On IMDb, 2 hours 5 minutes. Okay.
Is it possible we have another case of Final Reckoning?
Vanessa Kirby alert.
We got to bet on this one again.
Vanessa Kirby alert.
It's actually 85 minutes.
Vanessa Kirby alert. Whoa, she has a magnetic presence too.
Yo, is she in Fantastic Four?
Ain't nobody worried about that. I'm worried about this. Hour 20. Okay, 125 minutes. I got so scared, man. I know it's not gonna be good, but still. And actually, funny enough, what did I just say? 2 hours and 10 minutes. This is 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's a 2 hour movie. Okay. I'm not expecting a lot of greatness from Ballerina, but I am expecting it to be a good enough time in the theater.
I think one thing that just kind of rubs me the wrong way about Ballerina, and it's not really anything to do with the actual film, it's just the idea that like we have this new story that they're giving us with Ana de Armas in the world of John Wick, and it's kind of like you mentioned on your own podcast, Vikash, with us getting John Wick Chapter 5 possibly, and the Continental happening, is that like they want us to care so badly about a new character, and they can't even do it without bringing up a character that we saw die on screen. It's like just every single chance they get.
I mean,
gonna go
I understand from the perspective of like the studio and marketing that you want to have John Wick in there, and you should market him to bring people in.
He's in there for maybe. We haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to speculate.
Oh, he's in it for one scene. He's in there for one scene, 15 minutes max. But it's like, I'm going there for Anna, so it's like, I don't know.
We support movies, no matter what.
I would hope that they just gave her the same treatment we get in John Wick 1, but I don't think they will.
Little tiny nitpick about this movie that also pisses me off. I don't like the way that the movie like has the subtitles where they translate, and there's like, because you can automatically put the subtitles on, but like where they talk and it's right next to their face, like the translation. It's the same shit that we were talking about with like the John Wick ones.
Yeah.
It's like just build it into the movie.
Oof.
So every time I see Palm, I just imagine a different world with her character. Yeah. And I'm like, there's like a Parisian action movie, spy thriller, like
from the world of Mission Impossible.
Like give me like a Les Samurai plus a Un Profeti, like just throw me in to like a Bourne-ish kind of like, you know, slow spy thriller kind of vibe. I'm like, I'm here for it. I think this is a chewy movie compared to Fallout.
What do you mean by chewy? Like there's more to chew on?
There's more to chew on in the sense there's too much going on. There's so many characters at stake in the same room, right? You have 4 main characters or five characters of like interest here,
and they all have different different outcomes of
5 different 5 different agendas. Yeah, it's not bad, but I just can't do it.
It's not great, Bob.
I'm not this strong.
Yeah, you're right, though. This is a very Dutch-heavy film.
It's a Dutchie.
It's a Dutchie. Palm looks damn good, though. She stands out.
I do love the sound.
So your eye goes to her.
Palm.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that she, it reminds me of, I forgot his real name. Jason. Have y'all seen The Good Place?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bortles, the Asian dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's in.
Jets.
Yeah, he's
the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Blake Bortles. But he's in Top Gun Maverick.
I noticed there's not really any wide shots in this movie.
Oh, I know. I know.
That's again.
And you know me.
I'm wondering if it's because of the COVID.
We talked about this. We talked about this last time, right?
It's we're like really peeling back the layers on this one. It really is one of those things where, like, it's not like
the more you watch it, the more you notice.
The more you watch it, the more you notice it's just like COVID restrictions and
yeah.
I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, whenever you're like a really big fan of something, or you know, like all the lore behind like why this scene looks the way it does, or like why this scene doesn't have the same person like ever facing the same camera. It's like that, but with the context of like a global major pandemic. So like they're doing as good as they can, but there's so much cutting. There's not a single shot where they're all in the same frame. It's actually insane.
Yeah, like we don't have one wide of them just standing there.
And y'all know me. I talked about it where it's like I need to feel myself, you know, in a scene.
Because if you just have one wide that cuts to them all sitting there, you're like, okay. And then I get to feel like, okay, I can feel like they're in the same.
You know what I would have done if I was him? I would have literally done body scans, or like I would have figured it out. I would have locked off a camera somewhere and just CG placed everybody into the same shot together.
One thing that like I do kind of give it credit for is that it has to get kind of creative with the way that the people are in the shots, like in the back, kind of like back to your point, Vikash, with the Dutch angles being added as like
dynamic framing.
So for example, this shot with Palm and the 3 guys in the back, this shot with the 3 guys, and then you have the shot with Tom and the 3 guys.
Yeah.
Who knows how far those guys are? It could just be a camera trick with the lens where they're able to make it look they're much closer than they actually are.
Actually, you can, I mean, you're right. Because
there's a lot of camera tricks.
This shot right here of Haley, Tom, and the guy in the back, they're definitely farther than they actually look.
That's what I mean. You can feel it. And at the end of the day, like I think it does work in its favor for shots like this, but it's like the fact that Fallout is shot the way it is, and this one is shot the way it is. It doesn't look bad, but comparing it to Fallout and knowing what we do know about it, the energy is just very different.
Yeah.
It feels like it should be more claustrophobic than it actually is, but because of the way that it's shot, it feels like it's just limiting itself.
You hit the nail on the hammer on the nail.
Listen, man, I know that I can get very analytical when I need to, and that's, I think, one of those things where, like, if I watch a movie enough, I definitely pick it up. But also,
and
just,
that's
like,
what I was telling you.
It's
like this movie. It's not bad, but it's frustrating Because it feels like you opened Pandora's box and then you kind of closed it.
Martin, that's a hard ass line. That's a hard ass.
Martin, if you make a movie,
like other movies.
Martin, if you had to shoot a movie, carte blanche, what are you shooting on?
I mean anything.
Like camera system, what are you shooting on?
I mean, I've been wanting to work with a Sony camera for a while, but ideally, I think I said it before. Ultimate goal is to work with like an IMAX camera, but obviously that might not be realistic.
Nah, I don't want to hear that nonsense. It is possible.
It's definitely becoming more like
we all go work with IMAX.
Odyssey,
I'm telling you,
the Odyssey, fucking doing.
Martin, we're gonna look back at this and be like, "Yo, we were having some crazy conversations. We were doing some research back then. Like we put in the work, and it's reflective of the time we have now." I don't know.
Like I think about it, and it's also one of those things where it's like, I definitely think there's a time and place for IMAX photography, and I think there's a time and place for a specific type of photography. Like I was talking to a friend over the last year who was working on a film that he was doing. And he was telling me that he wanted to shoot it all with anamorphic lenses. And I asked him, like, what kind of, movie is it? What kind of movie are we doing? Like, what kind of scenery is it?
Yeah.
And he was telling me that it all takes place in an apartment. And I was like, why would you want to do like wide lenses? Yeah. Like, why would you want to do anamorphic lenses at all? Do like a 4:3 ratio, or even do lenses that are a little bit more on like the claustrophobic side of things. That's I guess the thing is,
like people are going for style over substance as to like, why are you shooting, like you said, why you need anamorphics if it takes place in a fucking apartment?
I don't think we've talked about this.
The ratio is, I don't care if the ratio is actually in a widescreen ratio that he's doing it.
Oh, I don't care like either.
The lenses that you're using really do matter when you're shooting in a space like that. It doesn't make sense. It's going to warp the image to an extent that you're not going to be able to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you really have to work in a low budget and you're trying to make, I think anything in general, I think the 4:3 is one of the greatest framing skills you can have for an epic standard.
It is, but also like,
you know where I learned that?
The big thing that a lot of people think about 4:3 is IMAX now, but in reality, like if you go back and watch a lot of movies that are in 4:3, it's just
I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Z, I was rewatching Dragon Ball Z in 2020. And I'm sitting there, I'd pause.
Dragon Ball Z.
And I'm telling you, I'm looking at the framing. I'm like, what are these Japanese men doing? I'm like, this is fantastic framing. I used to
get up at like 5 a.m. when I was in like 5th grade to watch Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z.
Yo, Toonami, brother. Toonami.
I've become a lot more.
But for me, it's like people that are like starting out making shorts. It's like, I think they're trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna make it look like this. It's like you don't do.
No,
I hate that.
You don't need to make it look like that.
To make the movie look like it's
gonna be in a theater tomorrow, and it's like, bro, you need to worry about your story over what you're.
I talked to someone one time who was in it. It was the same person actually, funny enough, but he was saying that he wanted to make it look cinematic, and I was like, "There's nothing cinematic about it just being widescreen just for."
It can be cinematic if you know what you're doing, and like it doesn't matter if your limitations are limited. Then, if you have an apartment, like, okay, man, I made him short in a night. It's not very good. It made sense, and I used the camera that I had, a Canon XL2.
Last couple years, I've been throwing away
digitape.
I've been throwing away all the technical stuff. It's like I listen to a lot of stuff about different people and how they work, and
again, they're telling you the reason why they're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like for me, it's like all the technical stuff I have like acquired. I'm like, okay, I leave that to the side now. Now, like the fundamental is always going to be story now. We're coming from an emotional point of view, and we're going to use all the tools to do that. We're not worried about the tools anymore. We'll figure out the tools. It's just we have to know how to be effective with those when it comes to that point. It's like
when you're starting out, we're more about your story than what it's going to look like.
I feel like it's been a minute since we saw Benji, to be honest.
Yeah, he's kind of silent. They're both kind of silent in this.
So I think the big thing with this movie too is as well as that Benji and Luther are here technically, but again, because of COVID restrictions,
they feel so far away.
They feel so far away.
Yeah,
and they never.
But that's the thing, though. What's the problem, right?
All these candles is fucking great.
Well, what's the problem? That if you put them in a scene where you have 5 agendas, right? They don't need to be there.
Dude, I always think about when you're watching like when you're watching movies that take place like a period piece, and it's like they have so many candles. It's like, damn, imagine being the guy like back in the day that had to go around and just
don't say period pieces. Say Barry Lyndon.
very. No, I'm saying in general,
I forget
people in
the
people in 1700s that like they had to keep walking around the hotel lighting the candles.
But my thing is, when I saw Barry Lyndon in high school, like it blew my mind, and I was like, oh,
4K coming.
I'm like, no, because I was learning about like
Blu-ray too. Fuck me, dude.
Because it's just like it's a lesson. Like Kubrick was a great director, not because he had a shtick, because every time he did something, he conquered it and then he moved on, and he was always conquering genres.
You know that
like
that
you talked about 2001.
He's talking about being a dick, and he's like, Kubrick was never nice to anybody.
Who, me?
It's like, bro, Kubrick made The Shining. That went The Disaster Artist.
Oh, okay.
When Tommy, or I mean, technically James Franco's character is like talking about being mean to people. He's like trying to justify it.
I think you can justify being anal about your work, but you can't justify being a dick about it.
No,
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Your character is not, like, your work is not more important than the way that you treat people.
Yeah. I think this was good though, of the AI being able to hack the voice and giving him different. Like, that's a good use of it.
It's a novel. It's perfect because
that's Benji's. That's like their entire
else.
job. That's their entire job, and now it's like they can't. I have to go in person.
Benji yet again driving a boat. I do like this. It's such a. I do like the way they lit this. The fight in the whatever, in that little area.
Mm-hmm.
In the whatever, the alley, essentially.
Alleyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Benji. It's not. It's Benjamin.
Benjamin Dunn.
It's Benjamin.
They cut down this fight apparently too.
I read about that.
Which I'm fine with. I mean, the more compelling part is this, right? Isn't it? I love the sound of this.
Yo, knife fight. Let's do it.
Stab him.
Knife fight.
He's like, I'm gonna stab him.
Have you ever seen Rebel Without a Cause?
She was in a bubble. She came down in a bubble, Doug.
So what I was gonna tell you all about was they were talking about it on. There's a $71 million insurance payout for this movie, so it like lessened the budget for the movie.
When was the last time you saw Bin Laden?
I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
When's the last time you saw Palm Clementov? I'm watching her right now.
Oh my god, dude! Not a single episode we can get through without throwing out the Bin Laden line.
One person that
my headphones fell off.
Macquarie gives a shout out to big time is his AD on this one, a young woman named Mary Bolding, and he's like, I'm nothing without my first AD, which I think a lot of directors can agree at.
Oh, it's insane.
You need a great first AD.
There are some sets I've been on.
They always give the shout outs to the ADs.
The ADs never really feel like they're, not to say that they're not doing anything, but like it feels like I almost have to like think about who the AD is, and then there's some sets where I'm like, oh, that's the AD, and it's because they're going around, walking around, making sure everything is like a tight ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like directing, and that's what I always say, like directing is a coaching job, but it's like the coach has coaches too, right?
Yeah.
It's a coaching team, and your first AD, your second AD, like the whole team, like they're the ones winning awards. Like if like everybody, like that whole team deserves accolades, because when they're great at their job, they do it and they deliver.
Dude,
my casting for Palm is, if they ever made another Mad Max movie,
she should be in that. 1,000%.
She would be.
Would.
But I mean, she's
as soon as
George Miller
explained,
and Tom Hardy was talking about his body now. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like, I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm saying, like, there's an animalistic quality to like certain actors in a good way, where it's like they just, the emotions that they're going through, and they're great at emoting that. So she's one of them, and it's very rare, extremely rare. Like Haley doesn't have that. Does Rebecca have that?
As soon as I saw that moment right there, I said she's gonna die in the theater.
I know. The minute I saw her show, I mean,
as soon as he stopped, I knew who was coming.
Like, I'm hoping it was you. I mean, like, we know she's dead. I'm just like,
as soon as he stopped, I knew who was coming, and I was like, yep, she's about to die.
And no, as soon as this happened, I'm like, no way. And I'm like, no way. I'm sitting here in the theater going, no way. I'm watching this whole thing, no way.
Did you get up and leave?
I was tempted.
Start crying. Did you say,
I was on the verge. I was on the verge. I was
pointing at the screen.
I had a pit in my but genuinely, I had a pit in my stomach. I'm like, where are they going from this? And then they just picked up with the pace and just kept going. There's still another
hour. Yeah, there's still another hour after them.
My problem is that when you make a movie, you have to play. If you kill a character, you have to place it correctly. If I kill Ilsa Faust, I kill her at the end of the movie.
I mean, you're pulling a Hitchcock here.
But it's like, I mean, think about your favorite movie deaths. Where do they typically come? They come at the end of the movie, right?
Yeah. Damn. You have to go be in Silo now. It's time.
I'm doing part 2.
Your production schedule no longer lines up with ours. That's the best shot right there.
This kind of reminds me of the shot in Fallout that we were talking about.
Yeah.
With the this is the second. This is another time where he fails, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, they're telegraphing it in the movie, right? Henry's characters is saying, he's like, it's gonna cost you dearly, and there's literally a photo of her on the back on the TV.
Damn.
I'm still in denial. Like, I live on the longest river in the world. I'm in denial.
She's gotta be on.
Like, call me Dochi. I'm in denial.
Silo and Dune.
He keeps looking at me. You keep looking at me like I'm going to tell you something and I'm not.
I'm wearing my glasses without a reflective coating, so you can very much see what I'm like looking.
In about 4 days. I expect a text from you immediately after you get out of that theater. Just whatever your response is.
Oh, you're gonna get the full load. I'm just gonna be dumping. Or wait, I can't do it in the group chat. I'll do it. I'll text you directly.
No, you can do it in the group chat. Just wait till.
I know Tanita doesn't care. We've been talking about this stuff so much. She don't care.
But I will, because I won't be able to see it yet.
Nothing but love.
I'll be with little Baja.
I like how the color grading changed too. For this shot.
Yeah, they definitely went like, okay, the one day it's like it's cloudy in Venice, we have to shoot it then.
Yeah. It could have been that same morning they shot that other day.
They could have shot the same scene in like a warmer tone. It's all about the white balance you're using on your camera.
But it wasn't cloudy then.
No, but even then, my point is that like if they wanted to, they probably could have still gotten that shot and manipulated it a little bit. There isn't any harsh light hitting those buildings, and there isn't any like harsh shadows. But it is like you're saying, like there's clouds that would definitely add to it.
Nice.
If I remember correctly,
gave her a different cup as opposed to just
or not this one. Coffee. There's a scene somewhere within the next 10 minutes that's a reshoot. This isn't a reshoot. And maybe it is. Yes, it is. This is a reshoot.
Was I close? Do you know who she was? Did you watch the other films?
So, Martin, this mirrors the scene that you were talking about with Fallout. The scene where we come back and we, he talks about Ving is, like he's explaining to Ilsa.
Yeah. I was actually thinking the exact same thing. It's a little bit different because they are talking about the IMF more, but I do still think that you're still doing the same scene.
It's the same like plot delivery. Like Ving is,
you're
that's
giving us exposition for somebody who is now part of the team.
Fifth movie in a row. Sits down the girl. Listen, do you know who Ethan is? These are his girls.
That's how he is. I've known Ethan for a long time.
A long time, and he's only loved 2 girls.
Girl, you ever seen that GIMP?
Ethan probably. He's like, I keep photos of them in my wallet just so I can tell this story to other people. This is them. He holds them up. This is Michelle Monaghan. She was in Kiss
Have y'all
Kiss
seen
Bang
the
Bang.
thing with Ray J where he has like the hat on and he's just got like the hat is like 5 different angles in the same conversation? I'm thinking about that with this Scully that he has on.
Yeah, Ving's had the same like past 3 movies or 4 movies. It's the same conversation.
He went from a fedora to the Scully skull cap. I assume he doesn't have anything on in the next one.
I got that fedora back.
Can't say anything.
Nice. Base swap.
Honestly, this is a pretty good shot right here because I feel like they probably did this practically and they just use a lot of masking. Yeah, like did you see where her head was in the briefcase?
Yeah.
I think they probably got that shot practically and they just cut the frame out where she's laying down and they were able to get in the briefcase. And then this shot where Simon Pegg is like fixing her hair. It's probably a really
there was a cut
like, right there. There's a cut.
Right you saw the cut, right?
Yeah, her head was at a higher position.
Yeah, but it looks fantastic.
That's the same technique that they use in a lot of like.
Just way to cut. Go around somebody and cut there.
Because the thing is, Vanessa has a thinner face. Like her face isn't as wide as Haley's face.
In 1917, that's how they got around all the like making it look like it was one long cut. Was that they were able to use like foreground.
They do have one hard
elements.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I know what you're talking about.
They had like multiple shots that were like being actively like interchanged.
You know the scene where they're going it's like the two guys are still together and they're going by the body of water and they're going like underground for a second, like towards the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty early, like 20 or 30 minutes in.
Yeah, it's like there's like rats there or whatever. It's the same area. But I know exactly what you're talking about. You see what I mean by like she has a wider face, cuts, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Like it's not like it's just like a, whatever, just objective thing where it's like
facial structure.
Even if we couldn't say like if you had this happen in real life,
dude, low key,
you could tell
if all the masks thing was real. You would be able to tell immediately that someone was wearing a mask because someone's facial structure is just so different.
Because it's like Philip Seymour Hoffman had a wider face than Ethan, than Tom Cruise, right? So it's like if he goes as Owen Davian, he would just look
and
like
a lot of it also
like
has to do with like whenever someone has a specific type of weight, like to them, like their face just is just different. Like you lose
like weight, my face is round, thinner. Your face is like ovular. And then Pat is he's like the middle between of us.
My beautiful face.
Your beautiful, gorgeous face, Pat.
Thanks. I grew it all myself.
Next time I'm just gonna face off. I'm gonna do this. Face off.
Oh yeah.
This it's like it's a joke in my like my friend group or like my family to do this. The thing from Face Off.
I'm talking about a lot of John Woo lately. I was talking about Silent Night with someone the other day. We were talking about like Face Off. It's just crazy to me.
I always go old. I always go old John Woo. I don't want to talk about the new stuff. Hard boiled. Hong Kong.
They just did
one a couple years ago.
It was like a year ago. Joel Kinnaman is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it.
23.
I didn't watch it. I talked to one person who saw it, and there's someone who's not really into movies, and he was like, "It was awful."
I watched 20 minutes. I had to turn it off, and I never wanted to finish it again. So
he did remake The Killer.
Yeah, the Paris one.
Oh, I hear, yeah.
With what's her face?
Natalie Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Masande of Narth.
She's got to go back to the club.
Back to the club.
Back to the club. So go back to the club. Oh man.
Young Chow Fat. Young. Is that how you say his name? I haven't looked at his name in like 20 years. Not 20 years, like 5 years.
It's
Chow Yun Fat. Okay. Fantastic actor, man.
This is where I leave you until the next film when I'm called back again.
Chow Yun Fat. I know a guy who was I guess his assistant for some time. Said he was just the coolest dude.
Yeah. Luther's kind of just stationary in this.
What do you think about, or I'll pose the question in a second, but it just feels weird to me personally that when you make these part 1 and part 2 stories that you have to resolve the story in this movie, but you also have to keep moving forward and set up those things.
It seemed like they almost scrapped the part 2, as in like we'll kind of make the next one. I haven't seen it obviously, but we'll make the next
like
one
in this
kind
moment,
of its own.
When it comes to Ving, it's like, oh, we're taking Ving out of the third act because he's going to be relevant later.
Yeah.
I liked because they did it in that, they did it in Fast X. Fast X is the worst of the 3. Into the Spider-Verse did the best for me, Across the Spider-Verse, because you get a full ending, but you also get a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And
that's why I'm wondering how these films play if as you watch this and immediately put the next one on, how it plays.
I can attest to that because I literally watched Dead Reckoning at like 2:00. I finished it, drove straight to the theater,
6.
Waited in line for an hour, watched the movie, and it felt like a complete story.
Completely different movie. A complete story.
It felt like a completely different movie. I can attest to that. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was curious about.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a Dead Reckoning part 2 in any sense.
They scrapped the part 2 in a sense.
But that's the thing. That's my problem, is that you are making big budget movies, and ultimately you do have to.
This is a relic. This is a relic.
This goes in a museum. Like you know who did it the best? I was wrong. Dune Part 2 did it the best.
So that's my thing with those movies.
Donate this to the Academy Museum.
I knew that you were going to bring up Dune, and it's with Dune. I kind of, to an extent, understand where people's frustration lies with Part 1, but also like I still think Part 1 ends in a way where it's a complete story, but it is a bit more on the like philosophical side of like saying that like his character has changed drastically. The plot in its own does kind of change a little bit, but if you want the full story, you do have to watch part 1 and 2. And I feel the same way about this one.
Yeah,
this one ends.
But I'm saying in the sense that like the way that the movie ends and like where it picks up, and I'm talking about on the picking up end. Dune probably does it the best out of all these movies.
Oh,
which I mean, Fast X, we're not lost to the wind. Across the Spider-Verse, like the next part will do a good job. You've already seen Mission, I assume it doesn't do a great job at it, right?
It's not that it doesn't do a great job, but it feels like you're watching a movie where the filmmakers and maybe even this might have been a studio thing, but it feels like you're watching a movie where like, okay, like we're picking up where the last one left off, but it also feels like we're stopping for some reason.
Yeah,
you're stopping, and it doesn't feel like you're going because you're setting up another story.
But they're churning it all up, and they're doing all this work to give you an oomph, right? Which I'm not going to ask you the question of like, which the question for me. No. My question is, do they land the plane? Because landing the plane could be him dying. The plane could not be him dying. Okay, this is a scene that's a reshoot. They picked this up for sure because he's wearing a wig here, and Haley's hair is a bit different too. And then we cut right to Austria.
Austria.
This is supposed to be the Orient Express, but I think it was Norway, if I remember correctly, that let him do the jump.
Sidney Lumet.
Oh, what do y'all think about this? I did not like that for the marketing for this movie. They just show this stunt at the,
Yeah.
And the marketing just irked me.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to avoid it for all I could, but I could not avoid it. This is Palm on top of the train. She did do this.
That's fucking sick.
The front of this train is CG, if I remember correctly. ILM's, what do you call it? Their reel for this is insanely cool.
Funny enough, we were talking about it with Fallout and also Rogue Nation, and I think even Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, but kind of a little bit of a callback to the Top Gun Maverick thing, where like the idea is that they're selling us this is the stunt for this movie. We did it practically, right? In this one, it's like when you go back and watch the footage of them doing the stunt, the ramp is there, but then they mask it completely and they add the CG to give an extension to like the mountaintop that they're shooting on. And it's cool to see that, like, that's one of the moments where like the audience is able to kind of like look past the the facade a little bit, where they're a little bit more like open and a little bit more like, we're gonna let you guys take a look behind the scenes, really, because
how we do this.
You wouldn't believe that there's actually like this one thing for him to jump off of.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of CG here with like, you know, the smoke and different, like, I guess the area they're kind of shooting in, and like some of the trees and branches and stuff like that. Small things that they add in this scene specifically.
If you think about it though, like, this is the only stunt that they do in this movie that was like the big draw.
Yeah.
The jump.
Because wasn't it, they did the teaser, was that the like teaser trailer for it was the jump?
It was the teaser, it was the jump, and then Final Reckoning has the teaser with the planes, and they do a good job of hiding most of it. But if I'm being honest, there's stuff in that shot that I was watching I was like, man, like this would have been so cool to experience.
I want you to spoil something for me. Pat, if you don't want to hear this. Okay.
Is this going to affect viewership?
Okay.
Spoil it after the
text me the answer for this, but I want to know when the biplane sequence is. Tell me afterwards.
Actually, I mean, that's not really much of a spoiler. I feel like we all know where it is.
I don't. If it's okay, is it at the end of the movie? Put it that way.
I can answer it. It's not a spoiler. It's at the end.
Is it third act?
It is the final climax.
Okay, thank you. Good to know.
I mean, it's kind of like this train sequence. You knew that was going to be the climax.
I didn't want it to.
I mean, when I watched the trailer, I was like, I bet you that's at the end of the movie. Like, I just saw it.
Pat, you forgot I'm stupid.
You're not stupid, man.
I just don't want to know. I'm just trying to be ignorant.
Shit with like Rogue Nation.
So Tarzan and Palm both add to the, I guess, the good guys. How is Tarzan in the new movie?
Tarzan feels a little underused, but he is fantastic.
Okay. I think he has a sauce. I think he's going to have a good career. I think that's pretty much, you know, Monica Barbaro, Bill Pullman's kid. I forgot his full, Lewis Pullman. Like, just that whole crew of Glenn Powell, Miles Teller, like everybody from Top Gun Mavericks is going to have a good career.
Yeah, and Bill Pullman was no, what's his son's name? Lewis Pullman. He was recast for that.
Oh, Bob?
Yeah, it's supposed to be dude, I can't think of anybody's name today. Holy shit. Holy shit. It was supposed to be give me 1 second. It was supposed to be Stephen Yeun.
Oh, okay. It would have been a waste of time for Stephen Yeun to do Top Gun Maverick. Oh no, you're talking about for
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, because it's the guy who directed a bunch of Beef. He's the dude. Yeah, that's why he was going to be in it. Then again,
my cousin,
same statement stands. Same statement stands. It's not worth his time. I love Stephen.
My cousin worked on season 2 of Beef.
Really? I'm interested in seeing that. I'm excited. Vanessa finally gets some sauce to work here. And she's killing it. Truly.
Oh, shit. Their eye color is different.
The eye color is the big thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So, you know. Simple but effective. Simple but effective.
So a lot of people don't know people's eye color.
You just put
if you think of someone's eye color. Quick, what color are my eyes?
It's kind of interesting though to think that like Pat, the eye color changes so much about her.
I could not tell you. Okay. They're not that blue.
Black hair, blue eyes.
Martin probably has dark brown eyes like me.
I have dark brown eyes.
Yeah.
I'm a bean through and through.
I'm a white Irishman.
I'm a replicant.
Me and Killian. Boys.
My eyes have that shimmer. McHugh is in.
I love that line that Shay has with
McHugh is sitting in one of these train carts at some point. I know I saw him somewhere.
You know the shot or that part where Henry Cerny's character is like, "What's going on?" He's like, "With all due respect, sir, you're not really here."
Yeah,
it's like so. It probably doesn't matter.
Dude, Shay's hair is fucking. That's my hair kind of. Give me that gray slicked up. He's in F1 coming out, Shay.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like we've mentioned F1 every single episode since Ghost Protocol.
I'm excited
because we get to Top Gun Maverick and then we just pivot to F1.
No, but I just mentioned Claudio Miranda.
We were just talking about Shea Wiggum too, and he's in it. So it's like
I'm not gonna lie.
I was looking at his IMDb or his
my pull for going to see F1 100% is just Kaczynski and Claudio working together, like Claudio Miranda. Like I could not care for anything else.
I did not love Top Gun Maverick my first time watching it, but after giving it a little bit of time, I went back to it. And I did really like it. I still stand by what I said about it looking just like Grand Prix, and so part of me is like, I don't know. Like I talk to people who like think it looks fantastic, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, you look fantastic because you think it looks fantastic because you haven't seen Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Actually, mentioning that, I think John Frankenheimer's The Train.
Great film. Burt Lancaster.
That's one of the references for this third act. I think.
Say that name again, Pat Brennan.
Burt Lancaster.
You said Lancaster.
Yeah, that's how you say it in Pennsylvania. Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Lancaster.
What's the?
It's Lancaster in California. In Pennsylvania, it's Lancaster.
The Train, right? In Buster Keaton's The Train, or whatever, the General.
You know, one thing that I do find a little bit hard to be on, like I'll accept this, but I'm not gonna accept this. Is that her brother doesn't recognize that she has a different eye color?
That's what I was saying earlier. You guys have seen my face how many times? And I said the color of my eyes. And Vikash,
I will say, I would not be surprised. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I would not be surprised. The third movie that McHugh mentions is obviously David Lean's Bridge on the River Kwai.
Bridge on the River Kwai is fantastic. David Lean, man.
Alec Guinness. Sir Alec Guinness. Best picture of the year, 1954.
Fucking Lawrence Arabia, dude. Absolute dog.
Great year for film.
Brief Encounter. Dr. Zhivago.
Zhivago's great too.
I do like Bridge on the River Kwai.
Guns of Navarone.
William Holden.
You see what I mean? Like, what is that cut, dude?
1957 was a banger year, man. 12 Angry Men, Bridge on the River Kwai, Paths of Glory, fantastic. Funny Face, Face in the Crowd, Seventh Seal.
Jeez, that's all 1 year?
Throne of Blood, Wild Strawberries, 310 to Yuma.
Throne of Blood, bro. Ooh, Kurosawa.
Knights of Kabiria. Fair to Remember.
Kansas happening right now. We got Spike Lee premiering a remake of a Kurosawa film. Is it premiering at Cannes?
Is he also showing a Face in the Crowd there?
Highest to lowest, but I think it's an adaptation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a remake because you already know he's going to do something different with it, and I don't think it's going to be an old boy situation here.
I actually, if I'm being honest, I want to revisit Spike Lee's Old Boy because I did.
You know my problem is
Santi
Weinstein cut the crap out of it, so I just don't.
That's fair.
I just want to see the full cut.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think it'll be a loose adaptation of it.
Because ASAP can act, but I don't know how much he can act.
I have actually been hearing phenomenal things about his performance. Not even from like a perspective of like Cannes or even anybody who's seen like the actual film, but just from people who were there on set, people who were there for the performance. People have been saying he's very good.
Have you all seen Dope 2015?
I was going to say Dope. I was actually about to mention Dope.
Famuyua? I can't forget. I always butcher the man's name. Rachel Morrison shot that one. I thought that movie would have a bigger following. That entire class is fantastic.
The series
didn't he say he auditioned for something else that was pretty big?
He auditioned for something recently, he said. And he said that he bombed.
Do y'all listen to ASAP? Pat is not an ASAP guy. I already know that.
I'm not Martin? An ASAP guy.
I used to listen to ASAP, not so much anymore.
Like as soon as possible, Rocky.
Like when he put out his first album, I was in high school. It's like it's that same era of like Arctic Monkeys, AM.
He auditioned for Solo, is what it was.
So, for
he was for the Lando's role.
Lando, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Donald Glover better. Donald Glover, he's soloing that.
The AI is objective. Yeah, that's a weird cut there.
Yeah, I understand what he means. Cut. Because the shot moved like 4 inches.
Yeah, to it was the a right. Weird cut. Like just cut to like the end. Cut to like the whatever you were showing earlier. You need to cut. It's like a weird jump cut to like a different angle. Yeah, it's like awkward camera setups to me.
It went from there's 4 setups. You see them.
Yeah.
This was one, the other one was another, and then the shot from above was.
Mm-hmm. That's fine framing there. And you have the one below again. But I guess technically, from a quote unquote filmmaking perspective, he's really towing the line of the 180-degree rule. That's why it looks awkward.
I think it looks awkward because
all over the place.
But it's not my problem is not even the 180-degree rule. It's just like it's jarring. In which I mean, yeah, it's the confusing. Point of it is. But I think the reason why he did it is just so when he cuts to a different angle, you're renewed in attention. That's it.
Yeah. Which when you're I think he does it so that it can keep consistent with the rest of the movie. Like it's the way that like Pat was talking about. Like I think he really just likes Dutch angles. It's like with this one, it's like I don't think he likes to do it. I think it's just that he did it one time to fix one cut, and he had to be consistent with it, so it feels intentional. Again, we could both be very wrong, all 3 of us.
What's the Dutch angle number in Final Reckoning?
It's
same.
I want to say it's toned back a little bit. I'll be honest with you. It's toned back a little bit because it's still present. It is still present.
I didn't realize how much we're in this actually.
The big thing that's jarring to me with Final Reckoning is like less the Dutch angles, because when you're watching this movie, and here's the thing, Final Reckoning may have the same amount of Dutch angles, but the thing that was more distracting to me than the Dutch angles was the transitions between certain scenes. And I wish I was joking, but again, it could be one of those things where it has the same presence and it feels like less because there's something even bigger that's bothering me.
I understand what you're talking about.
It's like, yeah, we might have a flat tire, but we got a bigger problem. The engine's on fire now.
Yeah.
Do you know what my claim to fame for it is for Asai Morales?
George Lopez.
Actually, it's Burn Notice. Wait, whose dad is he?
In George Lopez, you know when they had the flashbacks? He's George's dad.
Oh, you're right.
Dang. There's an episode and there's a scene where like George is talking to Max about like his dad. He's talking about how like he like saved his he saved his like gerbil, and he's saying like he swallowed a marble squirt.
George Lopez was a good show. I rewatched it during COVID. I was like, oh, it still hits.
It's all right. It's a very easy show to watch, I think.
It's a good sitcom.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV shows, that's what I mean.
Jericho season 2.
Interesting choice of what do you call it? Fingernail
eye color
or polish. What do you call it? Like a clear.
Acrylic. I don't know.
Acrylic. There we go. Jeez, that's how you know I'm tired. I can't even think of the word acrylic.
I couldn't think of it, but we're also men, so.
That don't mean anything. You acting like y'all both don't have partners or something.
We have partners, but that doesn't mean I know what I can't tell you the difference between certain things.
Gonna change the world. He's really good at doing his like.
This is face-off level acting right here, though, for realsies.
Oh yeah, I forgot Tom was just on a bike for a bit. A long time.
So when he's going through the forest, I told y'all about this because they were shooting this pretty early. That he's like when he was, they didn't know about the entity yet when they were shooting this stuff.
You told me about this, yeah.
And he was just like, "Oh, there's more urgency," because they knew there was a villain. They didn't know it was the entity. So he's like, "There's just more at stake here."
Was this the first thing they shot? Was him jumping?
Not one of the first things, but like it's
probably
early in the production.
Yeah. Whenever they do any movie, they always try to get the big stunts out of the way.
Yeah.
Because they were gonna start shooting in Venice, which they did, and then I assume they went here because, I mean, to some extent, this is pretty isolated compared to everything else production-wise. On the commentary, he explains it like McQuarrie explains the relationship between Ethan and Benji as being the he says the same like different sides of the same coin, meaning for him in his sense that they're both on the same page, but like they're in different avenues of what they're doing. 100%. Just as characters, whereas like they just work,
is that like
they work
they
together
had to
perfectly.
Kind of change his character a little bit because we were talking about with the third movie as well, where like he's just a character behind the desk, and with 4 he becomes this like almost same agent. Character agent,
but he's like
he's
supporting
just in the field,
supporting
right?
agent, yeah.
And so 5 he then finally becomes the guy that's like in the fields, but he's not just on a computer anymore.
He's calling Ethan on his crap.
Team. Yeah, and Ethan will listen to him more. He trusts him more.
Dang, CG Dunlop tires. Crazy.
Say the Dunlop, yeah. They do a good job of like building the tension for this sequence because like that shot of the crest and then it just point down to just show like how deep it goes.
You're like, oh shit.
You know one thing they're missing though? Did they hit us with a wide?
They do. Here in a second.
They're about to.
Here we go.
Damn. You know what's really interesting about this sequence too is after he jumps, it's like the movie doesn't deflate the same way that Ghost Protocol does, but you do almost forget that he did the jump to begin with because there's so much happening on the train that whenever that little shot of him flying in happens, it's like it's such a good payoff.
Yeah, I was about to mention it that he does this crazy stunt, but it just feels like, you know, it goes by so fast that you just kind of forget
it's almost you
it.
forget about it. Yeah,
it feels like light work
pretty quickly. Yeah.
And
unfortunately,
the other
Fallout,
2 big stunts.
I think Fallout is the one where he really outdid himself. So it's like this one doesn't really feel like a huge stunt, and it still is. Like you're jumping from the sky compared to a mountain, which I know that technically the mountain one's more dangerous because of what he says. Like there's not the right conditions, and it's not, you don't have as much time.
You have to do our wind conditions there too.
Sorry, I cut you off, Vikash. What were you saying?
No. I agree. That's all. 100%. It's just like you said, it goes by so fast. That's what I'm saying. It's like the placement within the plot
it's the one
matters.
Stunt. It's the one stunt that they do in this movie.
But that's the thing.
Like
when it comes to
2 hours
stunt placement, it's stunt placement. It's character death placement. There's a lot of different placements within your story that you need to like consider. And see, this movie works. It's a good movie, but it's like, would we do the same thing? I don't think all 3 of us would have a different take on the same exact story.
If I'm being honest,
like, it's just a lot going on.
Honestly. The only thing I think I'd really change about this movie is just maybe give us some more wides, give us a different visual style to it. I think that's the only thing I would really change because I like the story. I would even say the limitation of the one stunt is fine for this movie because it's setting up a much bigger story with part 2 and Final Reckoning.
My version of it would have about at least one more conversation about some ethics of AI and something like that, something of the sort, and like something where it's like you feel the emotional
that's what I find
effect.
Interesting about this movie though is that it's again like it's already in a way the conversation about the ethics and the use of AI isn't there because it's like it's 2020.
They're already past it.
Yeah.
They've already pushed past it.
we already know, we're well aware of what AI is, and the fact that it's being the way that it is in the story is so placed in the way where, like, if you don't know what AI is, what are you doing watching this movie?
Yeah,
like you're probably well aware of what it is.
They do define it enough to where it's like,
yeah,
like Ethan says, like, I'm gonna destroy this thing, and then obviously every other country's after it, and then we see the opening, which it gives you the emotional brevity. But I think there's like at least one philosophical conversation to be had about it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Ethan's been in the air for a while.
That's what I mean, is that like it's 5 minutes and it happens like right here. Oh, actually, it's only like 2 or 3 minutes. That's crazy. I think it feels like it's longer than it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like they had that whole of them like they're all
because of the build
on the train, and then they're like, oh, then he cut to Ethan going to the woods, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he was even chasing them.
Is it? I mean, I think there's a good chance that the reason that it feels like that is because the stuff on the train feels like it's much more intense,
longer.
Yeah,
but that's the thing.
What's happening with the stunt, even though the stunt is the only thing that I would say feels like it should be more intense.
They're laying a lot more story too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You kill Cary Elwes's character.
There he is.
You almost kill Palm at some point, or like, you know, there's that story. Then there's a story here of, you know, Haley's character and.
You know what I think it is actually too, that I think about with, like, let's talk about the big stunts, right? Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout. All of the big stunts have to do with Ethan being the one to drive the story. And this is the one movie in the one instance where the stunt, where the stunt's happening and it has nothing to do with him being part of the story, rather him entering the story.
Entering it, yeah.
And so at this point, it's like the story's already happening without him, so we're just waiting for him to show up, and then it feels like the movie gets going again.
Mm-hmm. But so on paper, technically, you're basically waiting for the same thing where it's like scene. He has no choice but to end up in this place. There's the only way to get here. It's the same.
Yes. But my point with that,
what you're saying is the correct thing.
Look at Ghost Protocol, right? They're trying to get into the server room to serve the story. With Fallout, they're trying to get into that water thing to change the things to serve the story. With the helicopter,
trying to save the opening of the movie too with the plane. He's serving the story with the opening.
Is the one movie where I'd say like the stunt is happening where it doesn't feel like it's not serving the story, but it's like you're driving the story forward, but it's not serving it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I assume
it's secondary to what they're doing
in the new one.
What'd you say?
In the new one, he's serving the story, though, right?
Yes. To answer your question, there's 2 stunts.
Yeah.
And yes, that he is. But again, it also does feel again like you're saying where like the story was kind of an after fact. Like in that, like
the train is already chugging, and it's not. It's like someone has to go choo choo.
He has to catch up to the story.
Ethan is the one saying choo choo, but in this, he's not saying choo choo, right?
Yeah.
It's already chugging along.
It almost feels like there's like one stream of line that's just across the screen where it's like the story is part of the stunt. The stunt is part of the story. In this one, it's like the stunt is not part of the story, but it's rather
the stunt.
How do we get
the stunt
back to the
gets
story?
Ethan into the story.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that like you do have this stuff with the train, so it still feels like he's doing a lot of the stunts, and it is.
Oh, yes. I remember.
This is the more okay. I don't know if y'all agree with me on this. I don't care about the jump. I care about this more.
This feels more intensive.
Like I care more about this than him jumping.
Sorry, call back to the first film though.
It's very Speed-esque here.
That's Speed and Mission 1. I do like the Speed 1. Mission 1 is fine. This is really good. And then the Skyfall does it for a bit too.
This last train sequence is like 50 minutes of the movie. Like this whole everything on the train. It's been like the last 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the last hour all takes place on the
but
train.
It's also Shea Wago, man. But I think it's also this is also another COVID thing, right? Where it's like we can do a lot of story. It's gonna look elegant. It's gonna be fun, but we're the majority of the work inside. No, all the work inside is being done on a set.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we have to be outside on top of a train, how many people do you need?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember seeing the video of him of them like being on the train shooting and like people are like
they were talking about Tarzan and Shay were both talking about how and I love that I hear this from every single person who's worked with him on things is that like he's very encouraging about doing the stunts and being like, let's do this for real, but also like he is so reassuring
safety
about the fact
conscious.
That, like he is so safety conscious about everything. Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's why at the end of this movie you will see. I was talking about Wade Eastwood last time. Wade Eastwood is second unit director and stunt coordinator on this movie yet again. Mm-hmm. And half the job, or no, not half, majority of the job when it comes to stunts is safety. That's why 100%. When a situation like Deadpool 2 happens, it breaks your heart.
The big thing with anything when you're working on a film set is depending on what kind of set you're working on, they may do a safety meeting for the beginning of the shoot. They may do it like once a week. They may do it every day of the shoot, and most of the time it is every day of the shoot. Every day, yeah. I can't imagine how these safety meetings go.
Yeah, these must be insane. If y'all watch behind the scenes for Fallout, they're literally sitting there. They're doing the same thing that Nolan was doing with Dunkirk, where it's like you just have model planes, like little toy planes or whatever, and you're choreographing how you're going to go do this in real life. And it's it's insane. Yeah. And on top of that, there's all these safety protocols. Yeah. That's why my only issue with Dunkirk is there's some lighting continuity where it's like you aren't even going to notice and it doesn't even matter because like they pulled this off and it's awesome.
The thing with Dunkirk that I would say I agree with you.
It's perfect. Besides that,
it's perfect. I am so much more forgiving with Dunkirk because like, dude, you were shooting 1000%. Cameras. Like you are 1000%. You are already limiting yourself with how much you can do in terms of like takes and how much you can do in terms of like let's redo this shot because something looks a little bit off. It's like the immersion is so there.
But the thing is, some of those cockpit shots they didn't even do like in the air, and it all looks like it was in the air. Like you can't tell. I can't tell where they didn't do it in the air, and then where they did it, in poor man's essentially on the ground, which is that's a feat in and of itself. Dutch angle.
Dutch angle.
Tarzan Dutch angle.
If you had to take a drink every time there was a Dutch angle, maybe you'd be drunk by the
blacked out
30 minutes.
What do you mean drunk? You'd be OD'd.
Yeah.
You'd be more alcohol than blood.
Blackout within 40 minutes.
Blackout with Tom.
Pat is just gonna name this the Dutch angle episode.
That Dutch angle, aka the Dutch.
I think our thematic conversation really today has been about visual language.
But even there, like the way they shot Shay, like it went to the other side. It doesn't look good. Like it just looks like it's just bad editing. Like it went from here. Like it's just like why?
The problem is what you just said. It's here instead of here.
So much.
Yeah. Here.
That's
here. Like, people are gonna be Tony's gonna be listening to this. People like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
It's like you have to like look at what we're seeing. Which
every time we do an episode now, and we have to talk about like someone listening, we just gotta use Tony as the example. Yeah.
3-minute countdown, just in case Ethan needs 3 minutes.
Good old 3 minutes. Why is it not 4 minutes? Why couldn't they play Madonna and Timberlake? And I would have preferred that.
That was a great little bit. That was a great little bit. All right, everybody.
Shay's awesome. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I feel like Shay just came in and he's doing what Jason Momoa was doing in Fast X. He's like, I'm going to have the most fun I can and just push this to the best limit.
I mean, he is, but also this is a significantly
this is a better movie.
No matter how much we're dogging on it.
Yeah.
Most of what we're dogging on has to do with the editing and like I do think for the most part the story is pretty solid in this one.
The movie works. This movie, on a bad day is an 8 out of 10.
It's a solid movie. I think it's a 4 out of 5.
It's a good movie.
It's got some editing issues and it suffers, I think, from a lot of what we were saying with like the story being stunt over story and being where it is.
ultimately the problem is how big can you go, right? It's like the issue with any story is that in any sequel that you make is you have to keep going bigger, keep doing bigger, keep
going.
The
big thing I would say that I want to compare this to, but it kind of hurts to say it, is that like it's almost like the MCU putting their little seeds in things and not even thinking about where it's gonna fall. Because this one, it's like, yeah, your story is there and you're gonna figure out your story later, but at the same time, like maybe figure out your story before you figure out your stunt. Because now it feels like your stunt is no longer in service of the story. It's just there because you did a cool stunt.
Yeah.
Yes, it does end up in the story, but also it doesn't feel like it's pushing the plot forward. It's pushing the plot in a way where everything else is happening and you're catching up.
When I think of a Mission Impossible stunt, my mind doesn't go immediately to this one.
No. Do you all know the concept of carrying capacity when it comes to biology?
Like the thing about like your how much you can weigh or how much you can carry based on how much you weigh?
No, carrying capacity, it essentially applies to an ecosystem. Like, let's say like a river, like let's say, Atlanta has, this amount of space and this many resources and this much natural stuff there. And depending on how much population you have, a population thrives to a certain extent, and then it'll like just stay steady from there. So it's like there's only so much you can do with the like the materials you have.
Yeah, and it feels like I would agree with that to an extent, but with filmmaking, let me give you the analogy. It's strange because you're literally writing the story as you go.
The analogy here to me is that they hit the carrying capacity for the narrative of Ethan Hunt with Fallout. So it's like this movie's kind of evening off and kind of dipping just a little bit compared to that.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere, you can't go further up than that. What do y'all, I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
I get what you're saying.
I think the story is still there. I think the story works as good as Fallout does. The thing with Fallout is it's a much tighter movie. The editing is on point. The cinematography looks great too. So
it feels like a bigger movie than this is.
Even with that sentiment that I had mentioned about the story not being served with the plot of the stunt, I still think even with that sentiment in place, it's one little tiny thing that I can overlook based on the fact that the rest of the movie is just so fun and it's so well written, but it looks like a TV show. It's edited in a really weird way. There is so much happening in terms of close-ups that you don't get any chance to look at the geography or how any characters are related to each other.
Yeah.
The blocking is never there because everything is just a close-up of a close-up of a close-up.
Everyone's just,
I really do think that visually this movie just suffers, and it's not their own fault. It's unfortunate what happened with COVID and just how that made films. But this movie being the way that it is still a huge, impressive feat.
Oh yeah.
And this scene actually, that you can actually get a bit of scale here.
I think you nailed it.
I really praise it.
Spot on.
But
that's exactly what it is.
It's like whenever I criticize anything now, that I have to like really say like I don't hate this movie because the same thing with Final Reckoning.
You can criticize,
But that's why my tagline is essentially always substantive criticism, meaning that you have substance within what you're saying. Some people are just like, oh, this is bad. But it's like, no, half the job.
Say this movie's mid. And you're like, okay, great analysis.
Half the job is figuring out why does it not work.
You just don't understand why it's mid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you have to understand. It's like there's so much work being put in and they have an intention obviously to this, but why didn't it work for us? Why is there a disconnect, and why are we making these comparisons in the first place? And like obviously we just talked about film versus digital, and we live in an era where it's like there is no difference at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but in the context of this story, there is a difference.
So let me ask you this. With a film like this, do you feel like the editing is something that you notice right off the bat, or is it something that you notice like as you rewatch it?
I think I noticed it
rewatch.
So that's the same thing with me too. The first time I watched this, I was so excited to get back to this world that I was able to look past editing. But rewatching it the other day before Final Reckoning, I was like, man, this has some weird editing. It looks kind of ugly. And there's also like this really weird tension that's not there.
Especially going from Fallout right to this.
And compare that Eddie edited Top Gun Maverick also.
Yeah.
And
with
I don't want to. I don't. It's the word to use, but I don't mean this in a negative way. But this movie is janky compared to those two.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper. I mean, it does look cheaper is the thing. I don't fault it for that, for what it was working with, but unfortunately it just does. But also, like, with watching Fallout and being able to watch this when I did, I took I think like 3 or 4 day break between Fallout and this because I was on vacation. I came back from vacation, literally went to the streets of the theaters to watch this. Watching Fallout and then Dead Reckoning in the same day is the reason that I noticed like this one looks like a significant step down in terms of visual quality.
Yeah.
Like what the film is doing, and that's with the staging, the blocking, the cinematography, the visuals, the visual language, edit, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my problem with this movie is,
and I am loving the
main thing is
this,
the editing.
this is still metal, like, it's still a good time.
It's good set pieces. It's just, again, bizarre editing choices.
And my problem is judging this movie. It's like, for me, it just feels like half a story still.
Yeah, but then I guess it's not part two.
It feels
so.
like we took a entire we inhaled an entire like lung capacity, and then we're waiting to exhale on the next movie. But I don't know if the next movie is an exhale emotionally. So because you're building,
it feels like you exhale emotionally multiple times. If I'm being honest.
So you're gonna be having a panic attack.
Dude, there was a
your lungs have collapsed.
There is a point in Final Reckoning where my watch was telling me to like relax,
calm down.
Like my BPM was so high.
That happened in what was it? Oppenheimer.
Mine was the same way for Oppenheimer too.
We'll see if it happens for this one. I hope it does.
I never look at my phone during a movie if I'm in the theater. Like it very rarely happens.
Either.
But when your watch does that,
it tells me like the BPM will like tell me like, yo, you need to like whatever the fuck you're doing, chill the fuck out.
But the whatever the vibration it gives you is like it's a alert, it's like a scary alert. Yeah.
I can ignore messages.
I'm watchless.
I usually just use it for a few things. Like I'd say like health and fitness. Like I'm able to track.
My problem is I don't. My phone is on vibrate and I never pick up my phone. Like it became a problem work-wise. That's what. No, that's why like my watch is there, so I know to pick up my phone.
Sometimes
I don't wear rings or anything.
I'll call you back because
my only my only thing, I love watches.
Did you notice that the subtitles thing that I talked about earlier is gone? Where like the
subtitles it's back down to the bottom. Yeah,
it goes right down to the bottom because they're so close up to them.
Again, editing. It's fucking weird.
No, but that's the thing. Composition wise, the composition is crazy different compared to the other movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
This feels contemporary framing in a bad way.
I don't mind the framing for this shot right here. I think it would work, but also like the whole movie looks like this, and that's why it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
If it was,
I've noticed this a lot. It's just every shot.
And what I mean by contemporary framing is like it feels like cameras have become closer. Like you see how I'm sitting in the camera right now, right?
It's because of streaming. They know that everyone's watching stuff on their phones.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they wanted to shoot this. I think it really was just that like
where I'm sitting right now,
like work with what they could.
Like, do you think Tom watched this? Yeah. Do you think Tom watched this and was just like, a lot of close-ups?
I think Tom may have just been happy that they finished the fucking movie.
Yeah. And that sounds like we're like dogging on this a lot, but it's like
we really do appreciate it. It really is. Just
this is still like
this movie. I think the story, like you said, the story's good. It's just bizarre editing choices and framing. It's just it takes you out of it
at 3 or 4
minutes. Yeah. It just takes you out of it sometimes where I'm just like, that's weird. But again, I forgot about this stunt. I forgot about it. I just thought about it right now. Oh yeah, he jumped off the mountain. Go, Ethan. Nice. Damn, that was fucking sick. Do a little flip out.
That's the flip that he did Mission Impossible 2, but better.
Yeah.
A little moment.
The fucking flip. He's like, no.
Little eye twitch.
to come back for the last one.
Not just the eye twitch, he's shaking his hands like he's shaking the gun.
I mean, I know why he's doing that now, but
you know what? I'm glad you know, because I want to know. I want to know.
You'll know soon enough, lad.
No, but like, you get what I'm saying. You said that me. If you tell me that they have a past, tell me what their past is. You know, you understand what I'm saying, right? It's like you showed me the gun. You have to show me why the gun was shown, right?
Hey, yo, homie, is that my briefcase?
Exactly. The briefcase has relevance.
Yeah, it is. Why you want
the key has relevance, right? I mean, I do love that it's such a lo-fi thing.
That's the MacGuffin.
I love a lo-fi MacGuffin. Why.
Lo-fi MacGuffin.
I mean, you need to know why. It's propelling your story forward.
This shot of Ethan on the
but Ethan, the MacGuffin, Ethan's the story of these.
I prefer this.
The MacGuffin is just that key because Ethan draws the story.
This is awesome.
That's the pattern.
Do close up here with this,
bro. You're
pattern, isn't it?
Bugging.
Cross you've left to bear. You see, where did Benji go? 20 minutes, dude.
That is the pattern.
That's the pattern, isn't it? The cross you wish to bear. Those who you wish to keep alive.
You were bugging, Vikash. You see, bugging.
No, see this one right here. It it actually feels whatever this little whatever descent down was in a lot of wides. There was no close-ups
because they couldn't get a
camera. Like, oh yeah,
this is awesome. But look where they are. Look where they are, though. You can have. There's two people in this scene,
and there's only one person.
And you see the framing here.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is that like you could have put the camera so far from them, and they're in the same car. You don't even get them in the same shot.
Yeah. It could be
COVID really
so many COVID restrictions. Yeah. Restrictions.
Are they even in the same car?
They're in the same car. You could have got.
Are they even in the same car?
Yeah.
No, but are they in the same car?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't.
Probably COVID. I mean,
they're in the same car, but they're not in it together.
They're not even in the same car.
Yeah, they're not in it together.
Yo, the hype here at the end though is awesome.
All right, now we're throwing on Crimson Tide.
No, I'm being serious. Like, if you told me to watch Crimson Tide right now, you told me to watch Crimson Tide any day. That's pretty much with any Tony Scott movie. Yeah. I will watch it.
We are.
This last, like I said, it's called Curtain Call. It is so fire.
We have
Mission Impossible.
Listen to that score.
Final Reckoning. Go catch it in theaters. Thank you guys for watching this with us. We had a
catch
blast.
it in theaters. What?
Yeah, I know. 7 movies down.
May 22nd. If you see it Thursday.
At 6 p.m. in IMAX.
Yeah, there's not going to be a commentary. If you want a commentary, you got to go to the IMAX.
Be a commentary in October when the 4K comes out. Bye. This podcast is hosted and edited by Pat Brennan. That's me, with intro and closing music by Patrick Baxter.